Hello, hello, everyone. This is Matt, your chaotic... Water, already. I just started the stream. This is Matt, your chaotic and writer, and thank you very much for tuning into today's stream. We are live with another episode of Tales of SEGLESIA. We are now on session 24, which is named Into the Breach. And tonight we are going to see our esteemed party perform basically the rest of the battle that they are engaged in right now, but also engage in preparation for a mission that has been brought to their attention, and they will be entering into the grounds of the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters, protected by a magical barrier, perhaps to keep something out, perhaps to keep something in. We will find out in due time. In the meantime, I do want to make a small announcement. I am well ahead of the current sub goal of 15 subscriptions. We're already at 12, and it's not even at the end of the, nearing the end of the month. We have an entire week and a half left to go. So I am super happy about that. I want to thank all y'all that have supported this stream via the subs or via follows. Follows are especially nice because they are free. So if you haven't considered to follow yet, please consider doing so. I have very tasty things planned for when this stream reaches 300. I will be running a 24-hour world building stream, and that world building stream is going to be bananas. That is to say, I'm going to build the world out of bananas. Everything will be bananas. Yellow and ripe. So in the meantime, I do want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy another session of Tales of SEGLESIA as I pivot firmly in the direction of our players for this evening. We have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let us tune in to see what they are talking about. Or maybe I need to hit that undeafen button. That might help as well. Hello,
now
hello.
We just can't... Shalom.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my friends. How are you doing today?
Hello.
Doing good. Pretty good. It's a good day.
It has been a solid day for me as well. I got to enjoy some outdoor time, doing a little bit of coffee shop work, and I got inside just in time for an entire massive hailstorm to come down. So that was fun. It was pretty much rocking the building.
Nice.
You say that again?
You made your deck save to get inside. Nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every day is a skill challenge when you really think about it.
Life is just a long skill challenge.
Absolutely. It just doesn't have the flair of having Roxy Righteous come in and narrate for it all the time.
That does make it more disappointing.
Yeah, it does make it very disappointing. For tonight's stream, we have 4 players. We have Blackman Inc. playing as Scoop.
I don't have a catchy catch line.
That sounds like a catchy catch line to me. We have Squigums playing as Windveer.
Them bullets.
Them bullets. If I heard you correctly.
Exactly, send bullets. We need bullets.
Send bullets, got it. And then we have Phoenix V playing as Orgoth.
Hello.
And then we have Magpie 8. Is that the number? Magpie 8? Magpie
I think it's 18. It's just a random number added to the end of it, but that'll do.
All right, Magpie 18 playing as Volvari.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So once again, want to thank all of y'all for showing up to tonight's session. We had a couple people that were unavailable, but of course it is springtime. There's all sorts of things to be done during this season that sometimes brings us away and obligates us to other events. And that is a-okay for everybody involved because hey, it's a beautiful season out there. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the grass is green. However, that just makes me that much more thankful that everybody has decided to spend time playing Dungeons and Dragons this evening. So for the time being, I do have a question for all of you, and it's going to be everybody's going to get a different question at this time. And the first question I actually want to ask is asking Magpie 18 because as I mentioned before, I jumped in to watch the session this morning. When I say this morning, it was actually just earlier in the day. But how did you feel about session 1 of the I think it was the Atlas of Etheria?
The fact that I've already started designing a comic of the entire campaign says it all.
You're that into it?
I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to be. I think the setup's been really good, and I think it's going to go places. So I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Awesome. It is an all-star cast, and you are surrounded by people that I have played and role-played with in the past, and they are all fantastic individuals. And so, if anybody out there is curious about this campaign, is it every Thursday?
Every Thursday, 11 a.m. EST, or I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I think it's EST. And 4 p.m. GMT, which is my time.
Gotcha. And I do believe that's on, that was being broadcasted on Sensei Suplex's
Yes, on his
stream
YouTube channel.
Specifically. So, if anybody is interested in
YouTube, not Twitch.
On the YouTube. I don't have
on the
YouTube
good
link.
old tubes.
That's okay. I don't have the YouTube.
That revealed my age, and I'm sorry I said that.
Well, yeah, it sounds very exciting, and it's definitely something I get to watch earlier while I'm planning for Tales of SEGLESIA on Thursdays. Gonna move it over to Phoenix V as Orgoth. What is your favorite fruit?
Oh Jesus, strawberries.
Just strawberries, or do you have like strawberry just is the god tier, and then you have like an S tier and an A tier?
Just strawberries.
I mean, it seems to go along with your chosen character. It's got that nice bright red complexion to it.
It works.
Yeah.
But it tastes good as well, so.
Awesome. Also, strawberries are some of my favorite as well, but I'm also a sucker for blueberries. So, Squigs.
Yes.
Windier, what's the latest book you've read?
Latest book. Let's see. I was gonna say it was a field. I can't remember the full name off the top of my head. I don't have it on me, but it was a field. It's a field guide to taxonomy for insects of North America.
Field Guide to Taxonomy for Insects.
Yes, within North America.
Gotcha. Biology is your background, if I remember correctly. And so, especially as a lore master, churning through a whole bunch of information that you have on particular creatures, their habitats, and how they interact with their environment.
Correct.
Awesome. So definitely tracks. Finally, Sean, how you doing?
Doing great. It's a great day.
Awesome. That was the question. No, I'm joking. The question I have for you is, what is the last song that you listened to?
I have no idea. The last song I listened to. That's a terrible question. Hold on, let me go pick up my phone.
I mean, these are all
Look at,
terrible questions. I gotta be honest with you.
Look at my Spotify.
Tell you your history? Oh God.
Well, since it's still open, it's whatever the last thing is that I was listening to.
Christ, I was like, oh no.
Oh man. So the last time I was using my Spotify, I was actually working out. So when I opened it, it was to my workout playlist.
All right.
And apparently the last song I listened to was Hustlin' by Rick Ross.
Hustlin'
Damn.
by Rick Ross.
Decent song to work out to.
From my
Yeah, it's
workout
actually a pretty
playlist.
tight song to work out to.
It'll get you pumped.
Exactly.
I've only just started throwing together a bunch of workout playlists on Spotify because it's time to get back into the game. I gotta get a little bit swole. I gotta get a little bit of my swole back because it went the way of the dinosaur of these past 2 years.
It's about to be summertime.
Valid mood.
Yes, absolutely. So enough with these foolish questions of mine. Are y'all ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons this evening?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Are you ready to play Dungeons?
Am I ready to play? I mean, maybe I'm stalling. Maybe that's why I'm asking these dumb questions.
That's what I'm thinking.
But
Catching on to
also
you.
maybe I'm just trying to go for the world record of most awkward D&D stream. As
Crushing
things,
it, buddy.
Yes, as everything is being delivered in a completely unplanned and disoriented manner. However, since we are returning to the planet of Tahiri on the continent of Leonios in the city of SEGLESIA, our adventurers, the Righteous Sacrifice, have found themselves in the midst of a battle against a foe that had not made itself, that has not made you aware of its presence, except for one of the individuals in the party, up to this point. And so, a barrage of red orc combatants have come down to try to, well, for the most part, try to disrupt the meeting and hopefully to send a message. If not, take hostages or take lives. However, it seems the party has been very handily taking care of these foes. What still remains, however, is the purpose of the meeting in general. Gathering the Righteous Sacrifice together and providing them with a very specific ask, a mission, which is of a critical nature. To enter into the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters, the building that had been destroyed by Cataclysm months ago, and that had been sitting with a magical barrier surrounding its ruins. But more on that mission will be briefed and will be discussed just as soon as the current battle wraps up. So, without further ado, I have to bring everybody directly back into the scene where you had left off. And it seems like you were in the midst of winning said battle, or at least it so appears. So allow me to activate. And allow me to kick in the battle music. All right, excellent. So, going off of the order, we had just wrapped up with Zug. However, as you can tell, Masters 8 is no longer with us at this time. And so, in the midst of Bala, in particular, this individual, finding themselves in over their head, Balvari, you definitely notice this because you are standing right next to him. Bala ducks into, basically into and behind an entire wall of storage crates and dips out of sight. However, you can just barely see his head pop out for a moment of time. And then he dips his head down as it seems like something has grabbed him from underneath, and he's just gone.
Well, there's a bit of a double take, like, the fuck? Okay.
And so, if we are continuing the order that we started with, at this time, you are aware of only two combatants. One of them is a Red Orc Berserker, or Red Orc Rager, rather. This one does not have, this one is staggering greatly. There are lesions across its body, and its head is drooping to the side, as if its body is about to give out. However, that is the one that is bearing a fiery fist, the result of wild magic. The other is much more stout, much more vigorous, and is still keeping up the battle the best it can. And so, we proceed to Orgoth, who is at the top of the order. Orgoth.
I assume this guy is really dead, right? The one I was fighting?
Correct.
Alright. Well, I'll go beat on the little orc then. And I'm gonna use my sword.
All right. You take your sword and you come slashing in with an 11. However, that does not hit the armor class.
Well, good thing I have an extra attack then. Alright, shocking grasp. Please don't fail.
Hey!
There we go.
Excellent. 26 is going to hit.
15 damage.
Some big damage.
Big
Big damage.
15 lightning damage, huh?
Yep.
There's only one question that is worth asking in this particular circumstance. Well, that question is... Oh, even with a shield, that doesn't do anything, does it? What does this look like, Orgoth?
Well, Orgoth will grasp at the neck and focus all the lightning there.
So grabbing at the neck with a shocking grasp and injecting, that is to say, coursing lightning through the body of the Bloodsinger. As this Bloodsinger is about to perish, and knowing that these are individuals from the clan that you escaped so long ago, is there anything that comes to thought as you see the life begin to course out of this individual? Any thoughts or any words?
You guys are weak. Now, go to Mogus.
That is the last words that it hears before it grows limp under your grasp and then collapses upon the ground. Gone.
And then he'll look at the big orcs and say, "Oi, you dumbasses! Right here. Come get me."
Matt, you might have accidentally deleted the Orcs initiative.
I'm fixing that. So I'm gonna just set that guy to the
Yeah,
side.
okay.
Just give me a sec, please. They went right after you, Gorgoth. All right, excellent. And is that your turn?
Yep, that's my turn.
Excellent. So, a number of things happen on this single turn. Something expected, something disastrous, and something unexpected. First, something expected. The red orc, with life still in its veins, decides this is no time to stop. And it is time to lay down as much hurt as one can do in a turn. And so, in their rage, as I reignite their rage as well, they are going to lay down. They're going to pull a weapon from their equipment, and they are going to step forward to you, Orgoth. And they are going to come down with a halberd.
Bring it on.
All right, and that's going to be 14 slashing damage. They are going to look for an individual in the room for a second strike. As a matter of fact, since they are already attacking you, they are going to attack you a second time. Oh, that is going to hit as well.
I'm not seeing their rolls, though.
Oh, okay. Shoot.
Yeah, they're coming up as privately.
They're
I
coming
don't-
up as
Yeah.
private.
We don't get to know how damaged you are.
So it was 24 attack for the first one, 25 attack for the second one. The damage of the first one was 14. The damage of the second one was 9.
Ouch. All right.
And that is going to be their turn. Now, for something disastrous. However, something expected might happen before the disastrous thing takes place. We'll let fate decide. High, the unexpected thing happens first. Low, the disastrous thing happens first. The unexpected thing happens first. Each of you find yourself staring these two individuals down. And the one behind, looking like they have not a whole lot left to give in the battle, looks down to his fist, feels it coursing with energy, and you see a sinister grin appear upon its face.
Yep.
As you see it lift up the fist, and the fist begins blazing and everybody, for a moment, is blinded by light. And there is a furious flame coming off of its fist. And as it is about to bring it down to the ground, you notice there is a silhouette. There is a shadow that is lurking behind it. It is of a height that is shorter than all of you. And you see this individual step forward, and you hear a voice. And the voice says, "I cast Green Flame Blade!" Brandish a weapon used in the spell. And that, my friends, is going to be a short sword. And that is going to be a 23. So, more than enough damage, because it's only the Red Orc Rager is only at 2 hit points. You notice as this silhouette jumps up and takes a sword, and the sword ignites green as he stabs down into the back of the Red Orc Rager. And you hear an enormous bellow take over the entirety of the interior of the warehouse. And the Red Orc Rager, with its fiery fist, goes out. And the Rager collapses upon the ground. And behind the Red Orc Rager, as I remove the effect here, just to make sure that we're not causing extra confusion, behind the Red Orc Rager is an individual that a good handful of you are familiar with. One of you in particular will definitely recognize this individual. It's Draco Robshaw, Boy Wonder.
The fuck?
Hey, Orgoth.
Oh, it's you, boy. Good timing.
He grins wide and starts scratching the back of his head, like looking a little embarrassed because the only way he could have gotten here is by basically following you on your way to the secret meeting without telling you. But it seems like it's working out for everybody. All right, and that's going to be their turn. It is now Val's turn.
Val is just very confused by all the events that have happened in the last, 10 seconds. And it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to shoot that one then. So they aim their pistol. I get sneak attack.
Yep.
For being hidden. Roll.
Yep. So once you attack, that'll be advantage.
Remind me, when I'm hidden, do I get advantage on the roll? Or is it just no?
If it's a sneak attack, yes.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, 14. That's bullshit. Nah.
14. Well, that's gonna hit.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, that's bullshit though.
All right, so that is 4 piercing, and then of course you have sneak attack damage to add to that.
Yes, I do. Which will be. Remind me again what the dice is for sneak attack? I think it's an extra d6, isn't it? No, I get to deal 3d6 damage? That can't be
3d6
bad.
damage.
Damn, okay.
Absolutely.
There we go. There's the damage I needed.
All right, so as you pop out of your hidden position, aiming the pistol and firing at the Red Orc Rager, tell me what this looks like.
She kind of angling behind one of the crates around her, she kind of aims between the eyes and is trying to get as good of a shot as she can and as close as she can, and lets off the shot as it explodes in her hand quickly. She barely has to record because she's so used to holding the gun, and it lodges itself, just missing the target slightly but hitting it just above the eyebrow.
Just above the eyebrow. Which eyebrow, left or right? I guess.
Right.
Right. So as you pop out of concealment, taking the pistol and lining up your sight just well enough, but while it seems like a few seconds of deliberation to you, to everybody, it's quite instantaneous. As is the training with such weapons. A lot of times, what seems like forever to the person who's actually brandishing the firearm is in the blink of an eye to everyone else. And so in the blink of an eye, pulling the trigger, the bullet flies through the air, on course, towards the head of the Red Orc Rager. And as the bullet surges into the skull of this individual, you see it enter above the right eyebrow, and a deep, dark red stream of blood shoots out the back as this sound rings throughout the entirety of the warehouse. And for a few moments, it seems as if nobody's quite sure what happened, as the Red Orc Rager is still standing there. And it is looking at a few of the individuals inside of the room. But then, that's when you see a stream of blood starts coming down from the entry wound. And all at once, after a long pause, it falls to its knees and then topples over, face to the wooden floor. As it has perished, and you are now without enemies, as you stand about in a room filled with corpses and confusion. But it seems, as you look around, all of your friends are, well, seems like they are quite safe. Although a couple of them seem to be missing. Strange it is that Bala just up and disappears. And then, of course, Zug. One moment, you're looking over to him, you look away, you look back, and he's not there anymore. There is a hobgoblin, it seems, that is lying upon the floor unconscious due to the magic cast by Bala. And as the tension begins to die down, the room fills with a sense of confusion and slow deliberation over who these creatures are. Where did they come from? What are their origins? And why did they attack you?
We'll ask.
Yeah, sorry. So as you are standing there, what is it that you are thinking and what is it that you are doing?
Scoop wants to go over to the sleeping Red Orc, kind of drag him by his feet, and kind of bring him in front of the general, and he's going to like pick up his head. He doesn't want to wake him up just yet. He wants to like pick up his head, put his short sword to it, and he's going to say to her, Should I execute him now, or do you want to question this one?
You're asking
We're
that
also-
to Constance in particular?
Yes, we're also in combat, so I can't move.
Oh. Maybe that would help, huh? There you go.
Yeah, so he wants to disrespectfully drag his body over by like the foot and bring it in front of her. Kill him now, or do you have questions for him?
Constance steps over. Which body are you referring to, by the way?
This one, if it's still there, the one that was sleeping or unconscious.
All right. So as you positioning is sort of a thing. So you're dragging it forward.
Yeah.
Constance steps over and looks upon the body and says, well, naturally, it wouldn't be the smartest thing in the world to simply let one perish before understanding more about their intentions and their motivations for having endangered our lives.
You got it. Scoop slaps him. Oh, her. My bad. I forgot these were female. He like slaps her and sort of pushes her forward with his sword in the back. You got 5 seconds to talk. That's all he says to her.
So all you're doing is slapping to...
I want to
her
slap
awake.
them awake and then sort of like push them to the ground with my sword at their back. And Scoop isn't the greatest at this, so all he says is, "You got like 5 seconds to talk, or this sword is going in your back."
Looking about, they see, of course, 5 individuals standing around them. And without saying a word, they look around the room, starting to ponder their situation a little bit.
Less looking, more talking.
This individual looks directly to you, Scoop, and bares its teeth at you and says, "My kind would rather die than waste breath on you."
You're gonna get your wish then. He's going to look at Constantine. He's going to look at everyone else. Sorry.
Yep.
Don't have my notes open. I'm sure probably by now Windveer could talk. Probably by now.
Before they try that, can we try like doing one thing to see if we get him to talk?
Oh yeah, you can definitely do.
I got
Scoop is not an interrogator, so if you want to try, by all
something.
means.
Would it be, depending on what I do, would it be intimidation or persuasion?
Both are applicable, but of course, this individual doesn't seem like they're interested in talking. You'd have to persuade them with a particular motivation. I would say persuasion is the carrot and intimidation is the stick. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure you have a carrot.
Okay, neat. I get my dagger out and literally plant it in the hand right between where the fingers go.
Mm-hmm.
And just start wiggling. Like it's in the meat of like where the joints and tendons are in the hand.
Uh-huh.
And like I'm just start wiggling the dagger out, going, "Give us a name," and it stops.
Yeah, go ahead and roll intimidation.
Before she does that, would Scoop be able to help by also putting his sword in his back, as that's where his sword is already at?
It's more hold them down, really, because the strength. I haven't got a lot of strength. They're gonna thrash.
So I think based upon the nature of the situation, that they're more than happy to perish if it means they don't have to speak with you. But of course, pain is the
Motivator.
I don't know if simply sticking a sword to them would.
Yeah, no. If
be
it's a
enough
death
of a
kill,
motivator.
that's why she went for somewhere that's less lethal and it's more that this is just pain. And we're gonna keep it here until you talk.
So that is what was your roll for
I
intimidation?
was going to quickly check. Would that be intimidation or persuasion?
That'd be intimidation.
Ah. Do I get any advantage at all, or is it just straight intimidation?
This is gonna be straight intimidation.
Okay. Shit.
Of course, threatening them with potential pain. They cackle and they hack up and they spit in your direction. And they say, "My kind relishes in pain. You cannot force me to talk with simple threats."
Mr. DM.
Mm-hmm.
And am I still spewing bubbles, or am I able to normally speak?
That effect takes about a minute, and I think by this time a minute has passed.
Perfect. As you see in the bubbles, like, finally. All right. As I now look over at them. Like, all right. Oh, I'm very sorry for how my associates are treating you. It just seems not to be able to actually properly articulate what they're trying to say.
In my defense, I think he's enjoying it.
Well, yes, but as I like lean
I'm
down
enjoying it.
down onto her, just goes, "Those two are amateurs. They don't know how to properly be able to talk with someone like you. I can tell that you are very trained when it comes to the art of keeping silent. That's what I like about it. But as those two are trying the best they can do, and I swear they're trying the best, now that I'm able to speak, there's a lot worse things that I can do." As I'm going to use words of terror on her.
Oh.
All right, so in which case the words of terror describe to me the ability, and then
I can cause it to be frightened for 1 minute. If it fails, what's the saving throw?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. In which case I will roll a wisdom saving throw.
Shit.
Oh, that is a pretty drastic failure.
As she's looking at me, I always like the picture of she just sees like a toothy demon licking its lip, and pure shadow as horrors are around it. As I say in one word to her, she probably doesn't understand it, but an infernal. Correct?
You're saying this infernal?
Yes.
This individual, which at closer inspection, I would say the four of you could roll an insight check as you have been watching and interacting with this individual.
I'm rolling like dog shit today, Jesus.
I do love my words of terror.
Mm-hmm. That was Very clutch. That was very cool.
All right, so we have a 7, we got a 16, we got a 6, and then Wingbeard.
Yeah, Orgoth roll. I don't need to roll. Do I need to roll insight check?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know if you wanted me to roll insight check as well. Let me just check. Wow, that was dog shit.
All right. Scoop is the only individual that is able to take insight of the individual that they are witnessing. You're all witnessing this individual. You're all surrounding this individual, but Scoop's the only one that's able to perform an insight. Anyways, so as you are fueling this hobgoblin, that's what it is. It actually becomes clear to everyone that this is a hobgoblin, but with a red complexion and with horns. Very uncharacteristic of a hobgoblin. Each of you, looking down to this individual, can see them wince as they are, as it seems to you like they are resisting a mental effect. However, Scoop in particular, with more keen eyes, with more watching of the facial expression and how this hobgoblin is tensing up and trying to push out voices cutting into its mind. Scoop gets the inclination that it seems like this one might actually be afraid, but not just afraid, but from watching and from listening in and just kind of judging their tone of voice, it seems like there is a sense of discipline with this individual. Combat discipline, but one based in fury and hatred. One of devotion. However, Scoop, you get the inclination that if one could perhaps convince this individual that they would be able to die an honorable death by the time they are finished, they might be willing to part ways with a few words.
I'm trying to figure out how Scoop would even broadcast a message like this to people. Basically, this individual might speak if we could guarantee an honorable death. Is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. I guess sort of seeing what Windveer did is sort of working. He takes the sword off of his back, looks at her in the eyes, and then goes over to whisper to Windveer. He says in Windveer's ear, "You know, this is probably the best you've ever done, but I'm be honest with you, it's not enough.
Insult and a compliment at the same time.
This woman, I mean, take a look at her clothes. She kind of walks the path of honor. Only way you're gonna get something out of her is maybe in a fair fight, some type of honorable death. And lucky for us, I think we got the red orc for the job. Maybe if they fight to the death, maybe she'll give something up. But if it's up to me personally, I just kill her where she stands.
And now hold on there, Scoop. As I look back at her, I know she's probably she's terrified of me. And the fact she still sees the demons around me. No?
She's still kind of pinned to the floor too.
No. I can tell right now that you're, I guess you can say, honorable. And I know for a fact most likely you're after my associate over here, as I point over to Orgoth.
As you point over to Orgoth, you can, especially Scoop, because of your insight check, you can see the look on their face goes from contesting this fear that's been brewing with them to a look of pure hatred.
Well, you're after my associates. Pretty honorable. How about we do a little bit of a dealing? You don't want to go back to your leaders, knowing you failed. I sure as hope would never do that. So, how about this? You give us some information, some, if not all the information you have on you right now, and we'll set up an honorable duel. To another. But my red friend over there, I'm sure he'd be love to take a swing at you, but do so in a way that'll fit both of us. So, what do you say? You get to fight to finally prove your worth. Possibly have a chance to actually eliminate your target.
Constance
You
is...
die.
Continue.
Like that. Or we could just kill you right here, right now. Ultimately leave you into that of even worse than Mogus, because Mogus will most likely send your soul to who does Mogus hate?
Is, yeah. I don't know the answer to that either.
No, it's not
Iroas.
Iroas. Or Mogus will send your soul directly to Iroas for the rest of eternity. Choice is yours.
Constance will chime in and say, "It seems to me this individual, she is no stranger to the shedding of blood, the game we play in the shadows. And if it wasn't for the axe of your friend Bala, this one would already be dead. The least one can do is perhaps grant her the wish that she's asking. But
Of course.
I would be very wary of an individual such as this who works in subterfuge and attacks individuals from the shadows, because I don't know any individual who attacks from the shadows to necessarily be one of honor." As she says that, the hobgoblin
Rude.
whips her head over to Constance and hisses and says, "There are more ways of honor than simply giving one's presence away for battle." And she whips her head over to Orgoth, and she manages to point her hand, well, it's within safe margin, not to prompt anybody, but points her hand at Orgoth and say, You are a heretic. You disgrace my tribe. You simply think you can walk away from the devotion of the Bloodsingers. But it is for you that we have come. And if I will die, I will not die by the dirty weapons and by the dirty deeds of these lesser beings around me. It will be with the knowledge that I have taken my blade to your throat.
What makes you think I will kill you honorably? Mogus doesn't give a fuck about honor. And I have become more powerful than your pathetic little clan.
As you say
Orgoff,
this...
Orgoff will pretty much look at the others just to see if he can kill her now.
I mean, she's basically told us what we wanted to know, so yeah, you might as well offer.
He'll look at the talkative elf first as well. Can I?
Just hold on a second. Like I said before, the offer still stands. You fight him honorably, or he just kills you right here, right now, ultimately sending your soul to Iroas. What would it be?
We don't need anything else, though. We know she's just the fucking comes here to kill him by the tribe. What other information are we fishing for?
Oh. For one thing, one thing is whoever they have as employers to have in case anything else happens.
I'm not sure they have employers. I think they're working for themselves just because this guy pissed them off.
We're a clan. We don't employ others. We're just us.
I mean, being employed. Oh.
Orgoth.
Yep.
Roll a history check.
Not bad.
So, with a 15, yeah, that's going to be enough for me to give you the basic information that you would know with some additional details. Being a member of the Bloodsingers, or a former member of the Bloodsingers, you know for a fact that the individuals that come into the Bloodsingers to be trained, in truth, some of them begin already in devotion to Mogus. Others sometimes come to the Bloodsingers from different walks of life and different considerations of what it means to be honorable or dishonorable. You kind of see their reflection of it, their description of it, as something that may be some sort of holdover from a life before the Bloodsingers. Whether you feel inclined to grant it or not is completely up to you. However, one thing that you do know about the Bloodsingers are those in the devotion to Mogus that take up the art of blade singing and infuse it with the blood of its enemies through savagery and through the teachings of Mogus as a god. And there is no particular limit to in what ways they use these talents. For certain, they would never employ individuals into their service. However, it is not out of the question that if one seeks their expertise for one reason or another, that they may be inclined, if the deal is suitable enough to them, for them to perform deeds on behalf of somebody. Usually those deeds, as you can imagine, have something to do with assassination or murder.
Remember? You'll just look at her and go, I get it. You had a different path before. Well, die the most dishonorable way I can think of. He will pretty much cast suffocating grasp.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, fuck.
All right.
It'll be at third level.
See, I had been feeling bad for the whole hand thing, but now I'm actually feeling pretty okay.
So, when you...
24.
So that's going to be 24 damage.
No, it's I rolled 24 to hit.
You roll 24 to hit. That's going to hit.
13 damage.
Yep. Since this individual is pretty much your captive, and they are prone, even though they had not sustained really much damage to begin with, your successful attack is essentially going to be a coup de grace. So with a suffocating grasp, describe a little bit, without getting too graphic, of course, but describe just a little bit of what this suffocating grasp looks like.
Like, she'll be suffocating in the pool of blood that's on her face.
Oh, I remember
And
how
getting
you do suffocating
shocked.
grasp. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. It has to do, you literally are channeling the flow of blood. Of course, they are not bleeding, but I would imagine the magic of suffocating grasp is you would probably step forward with your blade and then like cut her just right across the chest or the neck, and then the blood would start streaking into her mouth and start drowning. That's how I remember. That is how I remember you've done it before.
yeah.
Okay.
But this time we'll make it worse since she hates him, and Orgoff was pretty much injured from the big one, so he uses his own blood on her.
Oh.
You make it personal. Okay.
Love
All
that.
right. You make it personal. There is a look of shock. There is struggling. There is a moment where you are looking down, and there is some catharsis on your face as you are channeling your pain and regret and hatred into this suffocating grasp. And before long, you notice as her legs grow still, her arms grow still, and her head falls to the side as she is no more.
Morgus won't even have you.
As much as I like describing like attacks and how they look graphically, I didn't want to go too far on that one because that's pretty graphic.
Before
It gets to some point where it's like, a therapist is really going to dissect this one.
Yeah. After he's done with that one, I just go, shame, and essentially is that as I see her shadow go through, I do is I kind of like dip into her shadow and rip out a piece of it, crush it, and I use my mantle of whispers.
All right. And what does your mantle of whispers do?
I have it right here.
as this is happening, Val's kind of cleaning off the knife and then notices the child in front of them and goes, there's a child here. There's this...
do we gotta kill the kid too?
I mean,
well-
I'd rather not. I do have some lines.
Don't
Draco
worry.
is sort of reaching out towards the arcane stone and like about to touch one of the crystals.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. And Orgoth can handle this.
Aw, why not?
Let's just say, as I like move a little bit closer, that is magic that is going to be very difficult for you to deal with. And we don't want your father to be upset. You still want to train with Master Orgoth?
At first, he does sort of a, and then turns his head to the side, like he's not about to take lecturing from you. But then, of course, you bring up that last question of, do you want to still train with Master Orgoth? And he turns his face towards you with a little wider of a look, and then looks to Orgoth as if trying to like judge what is his assessment of the circumstance.
He'll be coming with us too. But yeah, don't touch the crystal for now. Boy, rip off the tusk of the big orc you killed.
Draco looks down and says, "That was a pretty good one, wasn't it?"
It was.
So he walks over. God damn it! Why are you making me do this?
I was very impressed. Like child is like he just watched someone get tortured and suffocated to death, and is not phased.
Well, okay. So
this is a
for the most part,
child.
he was on the other side of the crystal and then steps around the corner. Just after that happened, I guess I'm creating that narrative detail. But now he's looking over to the big red orc, and he's looking a little nervous, like, Orgoth, you
Yes.
I don't really like doing that kind of thing, and I know you've talked to me about that stuff before, but I don't feel up to it.
I'll do it then. You'll have a nice necklace. And so Orgoth will pretty much go and rip off that tusk.
All right, so you're gonna go over and rip off the tusk out of the one of the red orc ragers.
Yep.
Sort of witnessing the circumstance with the fallen hobgoblin and you ripping off a tusk from the red orc rager, Constance sort of like decides to gracefully step around in a way from both of you and clears her throat and says, anyhow, it does appear to me that you have many more individuals than simply the Crown's Guard to deal with at this point. Orgoth.
Yes.
You don't suppose that, I mean, as silly as the question might be, because you may soon be entering a place that is barricaded from the rest of the city, but you don't suppose that these individuals have any particular idea on what we are planning?
No, they're just interested in me. I don't think they have an alliance with whatever we're planning to do.
It's Constance. I'm gonna roll thing for Constance real quick. She nods to your answer and says, "Very well. Since that unfortunate circumstance has ended, we'll certainly have to do what we can to clean up, and we'll have to move our base of operations to another location in the future. Zelga, would you mind taking care of and heading some of the cleanup here? For the rest of you, if you could, visit me on the other side of the warehouse. It may be less commotion there."
Very well, General.
All right, follow us, boy.
I should have given you... Are you able to drag him?
Nope.
Nope. All right, let's change that up. Draco Robshaw, Child Wonder.
I hate that he's called Child Wonder. That's...
So the story is that during a previous mission, Draco was basically just a child that was a bystander. But the child who was a bystander managed to get involved in the fight because they are a kind of a practicing, like a starting out practicing mage.
Mm-hmm.
And Orgoth managed to basically convince his father to let Orgoth train him.
Oh my god. How high was that fucking persuasion roll?
It was pretty...
It was high.
It was pretty persuasive, let me tell you. And then over the course of 3 months, Draco Robshaw is now a hireling.
Damn.
So that is the short version. But I need to give ownership to observer
Fucking
status.
own this child.
Ownership. I know. You should be able to drag Draco now. There we go.
Oh, yep. Why is the place dark?
Why is the place dark? Oh, because Draco doesn't have any vision. So let me change that. We'll say like 30 and 30. There we go.
All right.
All right. So Constance stands at attention and says, "So, as I had mentioned and had given you the necessary information, your mission, of course, is to enter into the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters and get to the bottom of what caused the cataclysm and whether there is a continuing and pervasive threat to the city. We also want to do this before the Crown's Guard figures out a way to do the same. Thankfully, we do have the Arcane Stone. So this is a tool for entering the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters. By taking a stone, that is to say, taking a crystal, its resonance should allow you to enter through the barrier. Upon doing so, the crystal should decompose. So this will count as your way in. However, there is no set way out that me or any of my operatives are aware of. you will have to find a way to finish your task, to leave the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters by some other means, or to bring down the barrier. Now, again, the purpose for the barrier being there is one of the big main pieces of intel that we're hoping to understand. And if it is a danger to the city for it to go down, then that is something that we cannot have.
The General?
It is at this point that... let's see here, I have the notes here. Okay, cool. There are certain things, out of character, there are certain things that I mentioned in the previous session having to do with this mission. You've been thoroughly provided what the details are. However, I got to retcon a few things because I discovered a plot hole. And the nature of that plot hole is that I had mentioned that Constance had said to you that you would need to take these crystals and forge items out of them as a way to conceal those items from the Crown's Guard. But that doesn't make sense, and that's the plot hole, because I also said that you would need to get permission from the Crown's Guard to enter. Which obviously this conflicts because there is no secret then, and how would you enter exactly if you didn't have something on you already, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why would they need refining in the first place? So here is my retcon, and I will articulate that through in-character discussion here, through Constance. The truth, my friends, as you have witnessed yourself, the crystals on this arcane stone are highly unstable. The only way to properly stabilize them for entry into the barrier is to have them forged into gemmed electrometal bands by a master blacksmith. If you enter without forging them, it is very likely that upon your attempting to enter, that some sort of wild magic similar to what you've experienced this night will occur, and it will not look pretty. Now, in terms of a master blacksmith, I unfortunately am missing some potential contacts of mine that would point me in the direction of one. And I'm hoping that you are aware of one. But if not, then this will clearly need to be your next step.
We're the General. I know we have one within our employ that'd be able to help for the mission.
Well, that is good. Your paths to accomplish this are tricky. You essentially have two different options at your availability. And I want to make sure that you spend the necessary time to determine which of these two options you want to march forward with. Because you in particular, Winvier, would be placing yourself at a risk with one of these options. Although the entire party would be at risk with another one of these options. First, the fact is that the Crown's Guard won't let anyone through to the barrier. As you are aware at this point, House Tibalta and House Victaris are keen to keep any knowledge of entry classified, although of course, aside from the information I was able to provide you on how to enter. Therefore, Winvir, since this is not something that you would have likely been briefed by House Tibalta, if you were to try and gain entrance to the Arcanist Inquisition by requesting permission to do so, you would be putting yourself in immediate suspicion. You may have a deep perceived loyalty from Severo and from other individuals in House Tibalta. However, it will rise with immediate questions of where your information came from, how you plan to get in exactly, who would have supplied the method of entry, and other questions that might grant you permission if you use your way with words well enough, but would most likely be met well, how do I explain?
We met with the utmost suspicion, is what I believe you're trying to say.
Slightly more than that. The attempts to gain access this way will be highly suspect. Tibalta will know that you have critical ties elsewhere, although, while you may even be able to gloss over and protect your source, you can expect to have to be in a position where you are serving Severo Tibalta while also countering his own agents, such as the world of spies. However, while that option might be one without a lot of trouble to the rest of your party and might be risky to yourself, the second option is to completely ignore permission altogether and find a way to slip in undetected. You may be able to sidestep the Crown's Guard altogether if you are keen enough at your collective skills of infiltration. This will require skills from each of you to accomplish. However, as you can imagine, trying to sneak past the Crown's Guard has its own risks. And if it falters, it could mean witnesses. It could mean a battle against the Crown's Guard. And if things get too out of hand, it may even mean that your identity is being determined by the Crown's Guard and you being sought after for capital crimes. I know that neither one of these options are clean-cut, but you have a decision to make. The way that I see it, these are the two options you have available. Again, the first one is for Winvir to request permission and arouse suspicion. And the second is to completely ignore such permission and roll the dice, as it were, to infiltrate past the perimeter. And she looks upon each of you, hoping to gain your input and response.
I mean, personally, I don't really care. I'm good at everything, so either option, I'll get it done.
Val turns to Winvir and goes, "How much do you care about that bridge?"
Well, the problem is that if anything goes wrong, that bridge is going to be burning faster than a eulogy. That's the problem.
Point is that if we get caught the other way, it's going to burn either way.
Exactly. All right. I look over at Constance. I'll take my chances with Servio. May not like it as much, but the other option would lead west to any of us. I've seen the work of both Bruno and Dante. I'd rather not be at the end of it.
I mean, I thought an option could be that the stealthy of us could find a way in, make an easier entrance for those of us who maybe have a harder time of staying stealthy.
Like I said before, the problem is that if any of us get caught, and get caught together, all of our heads are going to be on a pike, if we're lucky.
So don't get caught. Sounds pretty simple.
And look how... Yes, and remember what I said... remember last time we tried to do a stealth mission?
Yeah, you stopped me from having to use the bathroom.
I do remember the details. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Val just pinches the bridge of her nose. Yeah, that kind of tends the track where bathrooms aren't really allowed on stealth missions.
Yes, and sadly, Scoop here has a weak bladder.
I drank a
All
lot.
right, stealth's out the window. Yep, we're getting permission.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You might suspect me, but that's easy enough, considering the work that I was able to do with him.
Is it stealthier to get permission for all of us to go with you, or is it to even try both? The sneakiest of us sneak in, and a few of us get permission to go in.
So to quick clarify, if we went with option 1 and Windveer were to request permission and arouse suspicion, essentially he would be speaking on behalf of the rest of you. And basically you would be skipping any possibility of... You wouldn't have to sneak in, you could just walk in, essentially. Mm-hmm. But the downside is that it will create very special complications for Windveer in the future, which will result in complications for the rest of you. Because
my question is, do we have to be stealthy once we're in there?
So are you asking this question out loud in character?
Not really. Well, a bit of both, actually. Yeah, one to the DM, one to actually question. Once we're in, do we have to be stealthy, or is this just ask questions, go around, see what we can find?
So, out of character, you would not need to be stealthy once you are inside. But to explain it further in character, Constance is going to mention that the magical barrier manages to obscure a lot of what's inside of it. And it seems that once you are inside, you no longer need to worry about whatever the Crown's Guard thinks. However, it's not quite clear what sort of challenges or creatures or individuals or survivors you might encounter inside. At that point, you will need to be changing your tactics on the fly. Val, roll a history check.
Me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. I heard Val. I was like, who's Val? Oh, wait. 12. Average.
Average. Okay. With
I'm
average... Yeah, so with average recollection, considering the circumstance, you've been given a briefing in the past on what the power structure inside SEGLESIA is like. There's a king. There's 9 major noble families in total. There are some lesser noble families, and then there's everyone else. You have heard the name. You've heard the name House Tabalta. It is the house that's most known for being, for its leader, Severo, being the master of secrets. And so, yes, it therefore tracks that Winvir, being the sleuthy spy type, would be very carefully judging about whether that suspicion is worthwhile or not, whether it's something worth risking. There's a particular structure to the Crown's Guard, one that is military and the other that is much more judicial. And regardless of what happens, if there is a level of you're kind of balancing it between a level of suspicion and attracting, sort of a spy versus spy scenario, at least for Winvir, and slipping in without permission. But if you get caught, you are basically going to be the kind of person where your face is going to be on posters all over the city.
Yeah.
And is that what you're looking for?
Okay.
That's a risk. That's not a certainty. But one thing that is a certainty is that if you go with option one, you don't have to risk that at all. But Winvir is going to be highly suspect to the house that he's working in.
To the party in character, there's no other connections we can exploit for this. That's our only one. All right.
Sadly, most of the people within the party are tribals. They have no connection of civilization.
Your mom's a tribal.
That's off scoop. No matter how much his quips are, I don't think he would be called personable.
Depends on who you ask. A lot of people love me.
Yeah. We just met, sorry to ask this of you, but I feel like your bridge is the easiest and safest option.
Definitely is. In the fact that they find your face on the plaster. I'm pretty sure that the Crown's Guard would definitely want to talk with you more than me. All right. All right, there. General Constance. I'll see if I can talk with Servio. I'll talk with Lord Tabalta. Sure, it gets me a little bit more of a headache to deal with, but in terms of everybody else, at least keeps the amnesty clear. And considering Val, I'm pretty sure you need that agent. If not,
it is a worthwhile sacrifice for the rest of your party. I knew I could trust you to make a decision that suits them best at your own potential expense. I sincerely do hope you the best on your conversation, let's just put it that way, with Severo Tabalta. As for everyone here, you have about the time of 24 hours to get prepared before entering into the breach, as it were. My operatives and the information that I was able to gain from them indicate that the Crown's Guard have been working fast to try to find a way to affect their own entry. And that could happen at any interval. Also, it does seem that since their latest attempt, that there was some support, there was some report from the one or two survivors in that attempt that there have been how should I put this? That there's been a lot of reactive behavior from those that they may have encountered inside. Now, I don't have any details on who or what they encountered inside, but my guess is that if we spend too much time preparing, if we spend more than 24 hours preparing, then the situation may become more unpredictable by the day. So it is best, and it is my recommendation, that whatever preparation that you have planned, that you do it within the next 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions for me before I dismiss you for the beginning of this mission?
You said that the crystals will allow us to get in, but once they go through the port they can't come back out. Then they'll be useless to help us get out.
Correct.
Is there any way to protect them from that? So if they were in like a bag of holding, for example.
So Constance thinks this over and says, and you actually see her sort of walk over and peek over towards the crystal to the south. And she says, "Do you have such an item on you?"
If we could find one, would it help?
As I understand, a bag of holding is technically considered a pocket dimension.
Exactly.
And that would sequester it. Sequester
It may be
the
just what we need.
effects. If any of you have a bag of holding, then that might be something worth utilizing. But you would need to be in possession of one. Unfortunately, I do not have one in mind.
Around the party, you guys know anyone who would own one, sell one we could steal?
Not that I know of. The closest one would probably be Ahi Waggletop.
Nobody want in the building we're going into with that.
Well, there might be someone. An artificer that works a lot with automatons. Augie Waggletop.
Mm-hmm.
Does wonderful work. We have helped her before. She might have one, but
Or
that's
make
not
one.
but that's not a guarantee, and also how quickly she's able to make one to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You can try if we like. Go see
It's
if we're
worth a
able to-
shot.
Problems is, do we have enough money to be able to get it? That's the real thing. General Constance, if I may.
Yes?
Well, considering one of the operatives here has actually brought up a wonderful idea. I guess I can ask is more of a... for her to have more of an allowance, if we will, in order to be able to see this, see if this little experiment's able to go through fruition.
An allowance.
Would you fund the experiment, basically? Would you help us buy a bag of holding?
Windveer.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a persuasion.
Okay.
With degrees
Can you get
of
advantage because I'm helping a little?
advantage, it's degrees of success.
All right. 19.
Ain't
19.
bad.
I gotta look something up here. She ponders to herself and says, "Well, to be honest with you, I don't believe such a thing can be done in 24 hours. Who do you know exactly that would be able to implement an experiment to create a bag of holding?"
Not so much create, but more buy it off them if they already own one.
Do you know anybody that owns one?
Well, it's a big city. There must be somebody selling one.
And even still, I do have a lead that might be able to help. You've probably heard of it before. Ahi Waggletop.
She chuckles, and she says, I've known Ahi Waggletop for years.
But you know that she's a very wonderful artificer. She not?
A fantastic artificer, but I do believe a bag of holding is much more within the realm of magic than it is artificing. That is to say, with not necessarily within her skill set.
Has to be a magic store in this town somewhere.
Well, I don't imagine such a thing would be inexpensive, but from the account of the Vanguard, as long as it is towards the potential of investing in a bag of holding, I imagine that I could help requisition to an expense of 2,500.
That'll do nicely.
That would be perfect. Thank you.
However, that is very contingent on
If we find one.
of discovering a bag of holding. What
Right.
may be best for that is for you to I have a standard meeting place for individuals who need to get in contact with me in one way, shape, or form. Now, I am not present at this meeting place. However, there is a sending stone that is hidden hidden underneath the... It's hidden inside of a shed underneath a cupboard. And she actually brings out a map of Seglesia and sort of points it out to you, the general location of it. She says, the shack is unseemly, but you will be able to identify it with a symbol that is a circle with a cross through it. If you ever need to reach out to me directly, simply send someone or travel to this location to acquire the sending stone and communicate directly with me, and when you are finished, put the sending stone back.
Thank you for that one. I'm sure Val will be able to at least be able to use that. I, on the other hand, have something a little bit easier for you.
Oh? What exactly do you have?
I cast Sending. She hears in a mind. I do not need a stone. I have the spell myself.
She nods and says, that's certainly easier. As for Valvari,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe your father wanted me to give you this. She takes an item from inside of her cloak, and she hands it to you, and it is a sending stone.
Appreciate it.
And she nods and looks to each of you and says, is there anything else that I can help you with before you go on your way?
We'll let you know if we find the bag.
And she nods and says, very well. Then, as of this moment, you have 24 hours to complete your preparations. And by that time, you should be within the barrier. I do not imagine it will be a very easy journey traveling through the ruins of the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters. expect the unexpected. And you will have to look out for each other's backs very, very carefully. Oh, and Orgoth,
Yes.
I do see that you have a accomplice with you. No doubt you will be looking after this accomplice.
Yeah, I will.
Good.
Rose
And
looks. Oh, so the child's coming. Okay.
I'll explain to you guys later.
All right.
You don't gotta explain that you're a dad.
As a teacher, not a father.
Same thing.
All I'm saying is, there's got to be like a daycare center somewhere.
His actual father?
That might
No.
work. Yeah.
There's a slight problem with that I'll have to explain to you guys. Once the boy is not around us, of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't like. Okay.
Alright.
I still think daycare center's a better option than taking him on a stealth mission. We could potentially get killed.
Oh, that's if we want to read the news later.
Alright. Well, we'll figure this out when we get there. As for the time being, for me, I think we should look over everybody. Everybody. I think we'll be able to need to talk with the smith, and I have to talk with Lord Tybalt. This is. As you see him a little unexpectedly nervous than he normally is.
oh, come now, Windveer.
Quickly,
You've
what
done
is Lord
things like
Tavolta's
this
actual
before.
name?
Lord Silvio Tybalt. It's.
Okay.
The problem is catching his eye is even worse than catching mine.
I'm wondering if I should change the name of my NPCs to how you guys are pronouncing them, or if I should remind you how they're pronounced. Either way.
Canon.
Servio, Severo, it doesn't matter. Constantine, it doesn't matter.
Just
Um,
grit
Carol-
the teeth and bear it.
It's like a Carol Cheryl joke.
Amazing.
All right, so Windvire, Vol, Orgeth, and Scap, please enjoy
Spoon.
the rest of your evening and spend the next 24 hours preparing. And if you need to contact me, you know where to go. Best of luck to each of you. Oh,
Before
sorry.
Scoop leaves, he's going to give the picture that he was drawing to her.
Amazing.
What picture is that?
Oh, when we first met, I said like in chat, Scoop begins to like draw, and he has a picture of her standing on top of Windveer.
Guy.
Amazing.
And so you, approach
I will roll for this.
All right, so you approach
If I
to
have
hand
to.
hand this note to her. Is this like a persuasion? Like, what are you
No,
doing?
I don't expect anything from this. It's just that's what he would have done. It's probably doesn't even hand it to her. He probably just like leaves it with a dagger on the wall.
Uh-huh.
That there's like a picture of her like just standing over like 1 foot over Windveer. Windveer's like on the ground crying. Her hair is like flowing. We can get into details if you want. There's like her hair is flowing in the wind.
Val sees the drawing, just eyes it, looks you, and goes like, I expect a drawing of my escapades when this is all over.
Oh, I already got one worked up for you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Please
Well,
don't encourage him
as a-
more.
As a matter of fact, everyone, I should mention that there is actually no need for that. There's
Oh, fuck no.
what's oh fuck no.
No, I haven't finished
No,
it yet.
no, but
not
it's-
this one.
But it's the one I have.
No!
Etc. visuals. Where is
I did it in like an hour.
it? Too late. So this is the art that Magpie has done for Val. That is, at least in its current form, but there are some improvements to look forward to, I guess, from Magpie. But I don't know. It looks pretty tight to me.
It feels too modern for this world, so I was like, I was going to edit the clothing style a bit more.
I'm not bothered
It
by
looks
it.
awesome.
It's actually really cool, and I think that this definitely fits the kind of like this definitely fits the kind of vibe of your character for sure. All right. So, in which case, Constance is going to nod and say, "I wish each of you the best of luck."
That's all I got.
And she is going to begin moving down this way, and as she is doing that, you notice Mandela Voidhunt step forward and very carefully from a bag give each of you a crystal that has been carefully harvested from the arcane stone.
In case this works, we may need 2.
I think both would be destroyed by the time we enter.
That's what I mean. If we get a bag of holding, we can protect our second one to get out in the bag of holding.
That's true.
And Mandela shrugs and gives each of you 2. And then you notice as they are proceeding to sort of wrap up their stay here at the warehouse, and one of the still yet seemingly unscathed individuals of Vanguard, one of the Vanguard operatives, gestures to you towards the door.
Alright. Look, everybody, wave through.
Make sure you finish checking your ceiling for rats.
The Vanguard operative gives you a little bit of a sarcastic salute.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. In which case, I'm going to bring each of you, unless there's anything you want to chat or discuss before I bring you to the map.
Right, who's going where first?
Gonna say Val, was it? Remember correctly? I'm gonna be a little bit busy with Lord Tabalta. Would you be able to try to procure the bag of holdings? Just contact me as soon as you can. I'll see if I send the message over to her.
No problem. There is something I actually want to discuss with you in particular, because you seem to know.
Yes?
Do you want to step aside with me for a second?
Where do you wish to go?
Just here.
Oh, ignore him. He's not there.
Hi, Mr. Keeper.
You mentioned the name Dace in there.
Yes.
What do you know of him?
Oh. Of course, I have to be able to know the other houses. Dace is, of course the son. Dace, of course, is the son of Azabin.
Yep.
Yeah, Azabin. And right now, he's the leader of the Arcane Inquisition. If it's anything involving when it comes to that tower itself, it's his doing.
Okay.
This would be a fantastic time, as a matter of fact, since you are mentioning that. I have a bunch of dossiers, and I need to add Val to the permissions of those so that you
Ooh.
can actually see them, which you're actually already added. You should be able to find that in journals, but for House Artemon, this is what it looks like. Two houses share the same image.
Mm-hmm. What's his relationship with the Vanguard?
He's neutral. Doesn't actually want to be able to get involved in anything. He could be a valuable asset if he decides to help with us.
Do you know what the Vanguard think of him?
Truth be told, they'll probably know about some of his, I guess you can say, unethical experimentations. They wish to partake in that of the arcane, but they'll be able to take it aside in order to be able to make sure they get further progress when it comes to the war. Problem is that my say Lord Tabalta probably gonna want him dead, or at least held as a hostage in order to be able to make sure that Azaben and everybody else in Artemon all under their heel. And truthfully, this point, for my own personal reasons, I'd rather see Dace's head on his pike. But I'm willing to let that go if it helps.
I promise you, they're not the only ones who are looking for his head on a spike.
I figured.
Mm-hmm.
They usually tend to be able to cause quite a trouble. Luckily, they're easy to be able to impersonate. I've done it before, and it saved. I can say, it saved me. It saved me many times. I will say though,
Discuss later, closer to once we get inside.
I'll most
Definitely
likely.
something to go behind people's backs on.
I will, though. Tell you truthfully, as much as I personally want to stab him to the heart, parade him around the street, and ultimately see him in his ways, I'll put that behind me in order to be able to make sure he's able to help.
So you actually think he could be an asset?
Well, for one thing, having another organization to help our cause would most likely be helpful, and having the head within your pocket actually helps. Not only we have resources of that of any type of R&D, research and development, but also that of funding, as well as legitimacy that comes with it. Truth be told with it, Artemon as well as Hammerhilt are two of the ones that are definitely the hardest to deal with, as they're taking the neutral stance. I'd rather just see Greymont as well as Hinterlander burn, but they're easy enough as long as you're able to get with the crops. The true challenge is Tabalta and Victaris.
You know, I love the
Sorry
fact
about
that
this.
you've done such homework on the political
I know,
structure.
it's amazing. I'm just
I'm
listening
gonna
to it
give
going,
you an
"Holy
inspiration
shit,
for
damn."
that, Winveer, because like I'm still super appreciative that you've done the
Like,
extra
that's so
research to just kind
impressive.
of
Like,
reference
god damn.
it.
I was like, okay.
So,
Well, of course, I've done research on you as well. I just
Wait, on me? Is that in character like Val, or is that on DM?
it was in character as well. It's like that's why I was hoping to be able to talk through. Because if I know your face is on a wanted poster, you stand out like a sore thumb.
Very surprised if my face was on a wanted poster.
Yes, but the problem is, as soon as it's on a wanted poster, you stick out like a sore thumb, like all my associates here.
That would be the only problem. I don't think family would appreciate it back home.
Of course not. But I digress. The whole thing. I mean, how else? I work for Tabalta, for heaven's sakes. Of course, I need to do my homework.
Valid. It's very impressive.
Draco
Well-
Robshaw. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Draco Robshaw is standing next to Orgoth and saying, "What are they talking about?"
Grown-up stuff.
Grown-up stuff? Like, what kind of grown-up stuff?
Boy, I'll have to give you some harder training.
Oh god, that sounds like a threat.
It is a threat.
Not the kind that should be made to minors.
He decides to disengage from that line of questioning and move over to Scoop and say, I'm trying to remember, when did Draco come into the mix? I don't think Draco's ever met Scoop.
He hasn't.
Is going to kind of look at Scoop and say, "Hi, my name's Draco."
Shut up, kid.
Well, that was rude.
It's a rude world. What do you want?
Scoop is my spirit animal.
Boy, you'll be carrying barrels for a while now.
Barrel boy.
What for?
Physical training.
What's in the barrel? Is it just rocks?
No, it will have ingredients that I'll have to use.
He gives a deep sigh and says, "Oh darn, when are you gonna teach me? And when are you gonna teach me more spells?"
You'll see them in battle.
We're gonna be seeing
back to
more
party?
battle?
Oh, and also here, he'll take the axe and give it to the boy.
Oh wow, is this my very own axe?
Yeah, you can mark your initials on it if you want.
Do me and Val hear what's been going on?
Yeah, we just kind of look over and it's like, you realize that kid should be nowhere near this group, right?
And I look back at Val and I just go, "You see now why we have to be a little bit more careful."
Yep.
Told you.
Yep.
Stick it like a sore
I've known
thumb.
you guys for a total of like maybe an hour.
Boy, go pester that guard for a bit. I'll have to talk to the group.
All right.
And they've sent him off to piss off a guard. That's that's troubling. Okay.
He gives you a straight standing salute, and then he runs over to the guard and he's like, "Hey, mister!"
All right, let's
Send the
move
kid
up
to
a
daycare,
bit.
please.
Let's move up a bit.
That's a nice looking sword, mister. It's not as cool as my axe, though. Check this out.
He's gonna get himself killed. I look over at Orgon and just like,
Jesus. Sorry, it's
Why
like,
did you-
I look at all
gods,
it's like,
who gave you that thing?
Look,
Why
Orgon,
did
tell
you
me
tell
straight,
him
did
to
you or
do
did you
that?
not kill that boy's father?
Wait, why are you telling the dad how to raise his son? That's really rude.
Is the boy's father still alive? Is my question.
It's
He
right
is
here.
alive.
Orgot's the father.
But there is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The boy, when he grows stronger, as a blood knight, blood magic corrupts him. He will start murdering his own father.
I did.
And I thought I was the rogue. Jeez.
Okay, so many layers to unpeel. Blood magic?
yes, he's a. His clan calls it blood singing. It's like they stole it. It's a long story, but essentially he's a wizard.
Right. Did the boy already know blood magic, or did you guys
No.
indoctrinate him into blood magic?
He did.
I did.
Fuck.
Wait,
Okay.
what does indoctrinate mean?
Is
Look
that a
at it.
sacrifice?
Okay.
You just see Winver's looking at Val, and he just gives a look like this has been dealing for months.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Okay. What, how do I, there's so many parts to unpick here. So
Well,
because you taught a child blood magic, this child is now going to murder his own father.
Yeah, when he grows in power, of course.
So, had it ever occurred to you to not teach him blood magic and therefore keep his biological father, whole and intact and not dead.
Why the hell would I do that? He has potential. He'll become powerful.
I told you, Val, tribals have their own traditions. This is usually one of them for him.
I've kind of taken up the reins of the less you know, the better.
Zog's your brother, right?
No, Zog's from a different tribe. They worship the same god.
Looking at Orgoth. Zog's your brother, right?
No, we're not from the same clan.
Yeah, but you care. Do you care about him? Would you be willing to sacrifice him to blood magic?
Look at Zok. Can you really think he can use magic?
That's not what I'm
asking. If he uses magic, his brain will shatter.
I give up. I already see I see the end of my plan. This isn't going to work. There has to be rational thought for this plan to work. Never mind. I'm going to give up. Okay. We need to kidnap the boy away from Orgoth, turning to the other two, because clearly this is not going to be a thing. That boy needs to stay away. I can smuggle him out to another city if it means just... Clearly this has to be stopped.
I've tried before, it doesn't really help. But
Really?
Yeah, the boy likes Orgoth too much.
Oh, good lord.
Alright, but anywho, alright. Like I said, Val, can you procure the bag?
Yep.
Scoop.
Whatever you're about to say to me, you're not the boss of me. But what are you gonna say?
Oi, tattoo boy, you're coming with me.
That works as well. I was just gonna.
All right, I'm going. Whatever she says, I'm doing. I'm going with her.
I look over at Val. Just been like, just rein him in. That's all I ask.
Yep.
Orgoth.
Yeah. Rein me in, please.
Yeah.
I would say, how are you in procure? How are you? A better question: are you literate? Read.
Yeah, I can read. What do you think this spell book is for?
Perfect. So I had to make sure.
Boring instead of words.
Yeah, I had to make sure because if you can, is it okay if you try to be able to craft some scrolls for us, just in case.
Wait, I never learned to craft scrolls before. I can craft some potions, but I just need the kits.
That will work even better. You just need a couple of potions.
Yeah, healing potions would be great.
Exactly.
Well, not healing potions per se, but something that can help with stealth.
That works as well.
I'll buy some as well.
Venom.
Like I said, that completely works. We just need potions to help. I'll talk with Zug later as soon as he's done being done with the keeper.
I'm not going to question
I'll tell you later.
And I don't want to know.
Even better. As for me, as you see him kind of like shiver for a quick second.
Scoop yawns.
I'm gonna try to prepare myself to talk with Tabalta, and I'm gonna be talking with our Smith associate.
I'm guessing the plan is to get everything sorted and done, and then we take a rest. Like, we don't want to go in exhausted.
Exactly.
Mm.
Oh, by the way, Val, you would need to know where we'll be staying.
I could probably get accommodation somewhere, but unless you guys have somewhere to stay here.
We have our own, don't worry.
Brilliant.
Well, they have their own. I have my own place, but it's usually good to stay there in case things get a little too heated.
Yeah, I usually stay in the sacrifice place.
Yeah, best for them to break their furniture instead of yours.
Exactly. Now, probably head back. I am extremely tired. I am kind of beat. I'm still a little peeved for the fact that they actually stopped my magic.
Yeah, you still got bubbles in your hair.
Those bubbles suit you.
Val is trying desperately not to laugh.
Do not encourage them.
Sorry.
Scoop wants an insight check to see if he made her laugh.
All right, roll insight then.
Would he be able to tell with a 12?
You're concealing.
This is probably
laugh.
more to Val if she thinks a 12.
Must roll deception.
Yeah. Nah, you can see, like, like just picturing the bubbles again is like on the verge of laughing again.
Anywho, as he kind of like dusts himself off, I am going to get a quick rest. We have crystals. I'll be able to give it to her afterwards. I'll talk with.
All right. See you later, Bubbles.
But we're gonna give. That's gonna stick. I can see it now. Should we give you all of our crystals? You can turn them all into
That
something.
would probably be helpful.
Remember, we need two
Here
of
you
each.
go then.
Plan is gonna work with the bag of holding.
Boy, come here and give him your crystals.
As you say that, you
You're
hear,
problematic.
you are all turning to the attention of Draco Robshaw and the quote-unquote City Watch marksman who actually works for the Vanguard, which is why you were able to get into the building in the first place. You can overhear Draco say, "So what happened was, in order to help him, I ran up to the other guy and I was like, 'You leave him alone,' and I set him on fire." Oh, they're calling me. I gotta go. Thanks.
Draco,
Yes?
I would say, truthfully, is that try not to talk about tonight to anybody.
And then he looks around and he's like, "Who am I gonna tell? You're all my
Exactly.
friends."
You just kind of see him just like a quick second, like, that is sweet, yet very fucking depressing.
Val just kind of looks at Winder and is like, "We're gonna be the death of this child."
Yeah. Alright.
Draco
But,
shrugs and goes, He starts
Just
skipping over in
Don't
this
tell
direction.
your father, okay? Don't.
No, yeah, if the dad's
I
useless.
know. No, yet.
No,
Dad
if
doesn't
the
need to
kid's
know
already
about
out here running
anything.
around learning blood magic, the dad's already fucking useless. I mean,
It's more for the fact we don't need him to know even more. Just be quiet about tonight, okay? Thank you.
Why? He can tell them that he killed a big orc. I'm sure he's... Oh. Never mind.
You forget, this is city. City murder is capital crime. The boy is gonna be hung if he tells anybody.
Wait, but I already killed a lot of people in this city.
Yes, because you haven't got caught yet. You also have to remember is that he's not as skilled as you. You can get caught quick, get caught easier, which makes it worse
Ah.
because then he could talk about you. And then he could
Praises
talk
from
about
Bubbles. Thank you, buddy.
Yes.
Val, can you just see like the vein in Winder's like forehead popping out from this entire like interaction? It's like, huh. Patience of a saint for not killing anyone in this party yet. Okay.
And I have to cut it right at that moment so that we can move on to the to the next scene here. And so, with all of that sort of brewing over between the party, as I smack my hand into my own microphone. You have 24 hours to run some particular errands before you decide to enter into the breach. So, in order to do this proper, I would like each of the four of you to roll a sort of initiative. So basically just roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier to it. It actually could just be a dexterity ability check.
Okay.
So because of my class, I also get to add my charisma to it. Would that affect this or no?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and do that. I am
Okay.
rolling for initiative, so.
I'm more like dog shit today. Jesus.
Actually, that works best for me.
Can I just roll initiative?
It
No, I
actually
can't.
works best for me.
Exactly.
Notepad++. And then not initiative. You would just need to. You might need to do like a dexterity roll.
Yeah, I'm
and
just gonna do it.
Add.
I'm just gonna do +5.
All right, so Orgoth, and then
Goop.
Scoop, and then Val, and
Scoop,
then Windfear. Got it. I believe we could do all of that within the next 40 minutes. So, in which case, let us venture without haste, or with haste, to the map of Seglesia.
No, speed run.
Nice roll.
Just let me know once everything is properly loaded. So, since
Shit, this is so cool.
well, thank you. I put a lot of work into this map. Your objective will eventually lead you to this location, which is the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters. However, there's one thing I do need to do, because since we are going to be kind of going through a 24-hour period of preparation, well, things are going to happen in the meantime, which means I get to roll to see how the Civil War is going inside of the city. So I'm going to only do this once, but the results are the following. I still haven't gotten it to a point where it actually shows up on stream and in front of you. So let me, and it also doesn't show up in chat, so I'll just say what it is. Where in Seglesia? In Magister's Way. Okay, you were just there. Yikes. All right. Well, okay. So you leave and you head to Roxy and company. Over the course of the next 24 hours, you are going to be hearing of a massive battle between the Vanguard and the Crown's Guard. But to add on to it, let me add the presence of a third flag here.
Oh shit.
There has been
My home was chaotic.
Sort of a secret, that is to say, a sneak attack from the exterior of the city as hordes of Northmen break through the gate and start rushing into Magister's Way in the middle of a heated battle between the Vanguard and the Crown's Guard. The three factions, one being, I've said the Reformers, which are the Vanguard. The second being the Loyalists, which are the Crown's Guard. And the third being what is referred to as New Monarchy, which is basically a faction that wants to take over the city and install their own monarch. They are all in a heated battle in the city, and as it rolls, where you were just located is going to suffer massively. And so the next time I come back into this game for the next session, the map is going to change, and you're going to see a lot of destroyed buildings and devastation
Oh Jesus!
in
Okay.
that part of the map. And I think it's significant enough where it may affect some things. So
Well, shit.
we will find out how that rolls next session. But for the time being, we're going to start with Orgoth. Now, Orgoth, please give us a quick synopsis on what you are looking to complete during the 24-hour period.
Well, Orgoth will need a brewer's supply. Some
Right.
barrels. Well, one barrel. That boy will have to carry.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
And then some ingredients.
Boy.
So, obviously, if Orgoth ever sees a halfling, he'll try to, pick the hair from his foot. That's an ingredient.
The
I was
foot-
about to
the-
say going, okay, weird hobby.
All right. Based upon your knowledge, there's one particular individual that you know that you can get all of these supplies from, that you managed to get the book from that you possess that allows you to do these special brewing projects. That's the boy's father, Thames the brewmaster.
Oh, good lord.
So,
Yes, the boy's father.
so you decide to go to
Oh, good lord, this
his
is
new
so
shop. Right, basically in the western portion of Midtown. And in doing so, it's one of those things where he's helping a few customers. You're doing this during the day, and he's helping a few customers. He has his folksy garb worn, and he has his straw hat, and he's laughing and chuckling with a couple of regulars, and as if they just told a joke. Tip of the hat, basically wishes them a farewell for the rest of their day, and then, like clockwork, he looks over and sees you approaching, and he immediately frowns.
Ah, hello there. I'm gonna need some supplies.
He sort of deadpans, just stares at you. He's like, I see that Draco... I'm sorry. I see that Draco is now saying that he is training with you directly at your place.
Yes. I'll explain that later.
He also... Oh, I gotta roll for a thing here. He's a kid, so I gotta have him roll a wisdom saving throw to see if he is actually good on his word of keeping his word and not telling people, especially not his father. So wisdom is his dump stat. Let's see how this goes. Saving throw. All right.
Oh.
Draco also tells me that you're about to bring him into a dungeon to fight alongside you?
A dungeon? No. Let's do some painting with blood.
It's almost worse.
It's like he goes wide-eyed. That is definitely worse. It's like, I'm seriously reconsidering our agreement about you teaching my son the ways of magic.
There might be one problem with that.
What exactly are you talking about?
I have to keep your son away from you.
What sort of nonsense is this?
I may have forgotten to tell you that blood magic corrupts.
He goes completely silent.
Oh, unless you don't want him to sacrifice you to Mogus and sacrifice his friends to Mogus.
What are you saying?
Buy the ingredients first and then tell him.
The agreement we had was to ensure that he grew up to become someone who is talented in magic. He's always wanted to become talented in magic, and I did not trust him going into the servitude of the Crown's Guard, but you're turning him into a monster.
Well, he'll be better. He'll be stronger with magic. He'll be a blood knight.
A blood knight? That's it. My shop is closed.
Look, I need ingredients to protect your son as well.
If you're saying that my son is becoming corrupt on blood magic because of you, no doubt. What exactly can you say to convince me that you're protecting my son?
He will only carry a barrel. He will not attack the enemy.
What are you... So you're saying that you're bringing him with you as a hireling?
Yes.
Okay. Super high DC persuasion check.
This was a train wreck. This was like, you know when you watch a car crash and you can't
Oh,
look
crap.
away?
Worst.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I mean, technically, Olgoth is not good with people, so.
Thames is going to basically he's squeezing like a vial, and it actually like cracks in his hand, and he tosses it to the ground. He says, "No deal. I can't help you corrupt my son."
You won't be able to do anything about it. It's already starting.
He throws his hands up and he's like, "Do you mean to tell me that you're taking my son away from me?"
To protect you, yes! And to protect him.
This is outrageous.
Ballsy move, but okay.
Look,
All right.
I thought your son would be a blood singer. But
Yes,
to him,
but-
blood knight came more naturally.
But you didn't tell me that this was going to be a corrupting influence. I wanted him... I didn't want him to be an outcast or to be a slave. I wanted him... I'm through with you.
He's already an outcast. He had power. His friends were afraid of him. Clearly you've seen that before.
Yes, but what you're doing is you're making him an enemy of... You're making him an enemy of society.
Nonsense. He'll have his place in society.
That's a lie.
Deception check.
Surprised he hasn't
If
like
you don't roll
actually...
well with this conversation is over, and there's no way Thames will ever help you again.
Oh my god.
He's like,
You
"Get out of
just
here!
won the deception
I don't want to
too.
hear a single thing from you."
All right. Do you know any other people I can go see?
You've done the thing that I feared. You've taken my son away from me. Get out.
Oh my god, wow.
I'm
So wait, we kept the son, he didn't actually
gold.
get the son back? That's fucking okay.
I mean, he'll show him some gold. Just try and convince him or something.
He's gonna start throwing things at you. He's gonna be bellowing at you to get out.
All right, time to see someone else then.
All right.
Or you tell them the news after you buy shit.
All right.
Yeah,
So
that's
here's
not
the
something
thing.
Olgoth knows.
Thames would have been a surefire way to just get the stuff, but now there's a risk that you won't be able to get the stuff. So you're gonna have to do a roll to figure out where you need to go to, like, I mean, to get brewer supplies, a barrel, fine. It's not going to be super tough, but it's definitely not going to be free of charge at this point.
All right.
So in your ability to kind of look for the supplies you need and to look for the supplies you need and to get it at some sort of good good price, I'd say roll an appraisal check. That's going to be a persuasion.
Oh crap, persuasion. All right.
Okay.
17. Okay,
Bad.
well, it's going to be at the the standard pricing for those supplies. So brewer's supplies. If I'm correct. Oh, I need to look up D&D brewer supplies. Brewer supplies. It's gonna be plus the barrel. And then the actual ingredients. You're talking about 20. It's gonna be 25 gold.
All right.
So you're gonna
I'll give the 20 gold.
25 gold.
25 gold. Yeah, I'll give it.
Okay. So you buy the things for yourself, and now that you have the book and you have the necessary ingredients, you will need to go to a location where you can actually start the brew, and then have Draco Robshaw basically, keep track of it and assign it to him as something to carry. So I imagine that's going to take place back at the Roxine Company building. Where
Yeah.
you have
The sacrifice altar
the
place.
sacrifice altar place. Okay, cool. So in which case, you will need to roll a check with your brewing proficiency. Now you don't have it here, actually. So let me do an import again.
All right.
Because it should show up at that point. And needless to say, as you are all doing this, it's a long rest. You're going to be working a long rest into it. You will want to do a roll with your brewing supplies. So that's going to basically be a D20 plus your proficiency. Proficiency is plus 3. So a D20 plus 3.
If I roll the D20 normally, is that going to be okay?
Yeah, just add 3 to it.
All right. 17
plus 3.
So.
That is a non-natural 20. Okay. In which case, I want you to roll a D100 for me. Okay, no complication arises. What is it that you are brewing from that book?
I would probably be brewing, hang on, let me check my notepad. Some good berry beer.
All right.
Viper Fang.
Are you doing you're doing these in separate barrels?
Well, what would the group need more though? I think good berry beer would be more needed.
Okay. The good berry beer is basically a health potion. So 1d6 health potion. There's 6 of them that you get from a standard barrel.
I just knew that you were brewing beer. I was like, okay, that's the priority.
Yep. I gave Orgoth a very special book, and it has recipes in it.
Amazing.
So 1d6 health potions. There would be 6 of them. However, it takes time to brew. You started the brew off. 3 days. Yes, you started the brew off at a perfect keel. So, in which case, you can now assign it to Draco Robshaw to look after it.
All right, boy, look after these.
Oh, this thing's heavy. Do I have to carry this everywhere?
Yes, you do. It's for your training, and after that, magical training.
Magical training. As soon as you say magical training, he starts donning the thing and starts walking around with it. He says, "This is heavy, but it's worth it."
Boy, Shut it! You know what I said about quitters. You're not a quitter.
And with that said, was there anything else that you were doing with the time that you have?
No, that would be all.
Okay, so we move it down the list, and we're going to go to Scoop. Scoop, if you could give us a quick synopsis on what you are doing to prepare.
Yeah, there's kind of like 3 things, 1 thing active and like 2 passive things.
Sure.
So the main thing is, as I mentioned, he wants to go to the Thieves Guild, and procure quote unquote thieves items, like smoke bombs, maybe some climbing tools. He's not really sure. Whatever they kind of have available, he kind of wants to see if he could procure and hopefully trade for his lack of gold for maybe half of whatever he finds, and bringing back the materials.
Okay.
That's his main focus in the time. Do you want me to just state what he's doing in general, or for the other things? Because other things are more passive.
Sure. So what are the 2 passive things?
Whatever free time he has, he'd be working on just any type of new tattoo designs, and potentially waiting outside maybe a magic shop or wherever they sell potions to steal a potion from one person or another.
Okay, gotcha. So let's start with the passive things first. You're doing some research with your tattoo, trying to come up with new tattoo designs. In which case,
it's more just practice. Yeah.
Yeah. For the sake of things, roll a d20 plus proficiency, just to see how efficient you are at your research.
Nat
Hey,
20.
that's a nat 20, baby. So that means you are knocking it out of the park, and I get to provide you a new tattoo.
Oh.
That you can make for your friends.
Nice.
You have a listing of stuff that
Yes.
I have provided you in the past, and I mentioned that there are certain things that you can do within a common and uncommon scope. Maybe some things you could do within the scope of a more rare, rare tattoo, and then there's a bunch of stuff where you can't do it unless you gain a particular item.
Mm-hmm.
Since you rolled a d20, you and I get to figure out what that new tattoo is going to look like. So that is what you and I are going to work on between now and next session. Or
Sounds good.
you may not be playing next session, but we may as well start doing that. But since you have been doing research, what is the nature of the tattoo? Like, what kind of thing are you looking to accomplish with the tattoo?
I always like think Scoop doesn't fully know himself. It's probably more of him just kind of practicing his tattoos already and taking inspiration from the events that have happened around him. So kind of the ambush would give him some form of inspiration, meeting Val, meeting new people. So kind of the events that shape what he draws generally in his tattoos.
Well, you certainly have been confronted with a lot of, plans made in the shadows, and a lot of discussion about power structures. A lot of stuff that was not part of your regular conversational, repertoire. That you weren't around people that talked about this stuff all the time, and now suddenly you are. So all of the thoughts coming through you, the how you feel about some of the stuff that has been discussed by the party, even if some of it is new knowledge to you, you're articulating this into your tattoo, which means this tattoo is going to have a theme of subterfuge to it.
Perfect.
So we'll get to figure out what that looks like between now and the next session you play. The other thing is you want to potentially 5-finger discount a potion or 2.
Yes.
In which case, please do a sleight of hand check as you are passing, of course, near and throughout a small apothecary.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Scoop is on it.
Holy shit!
Scoop is on it today.
Where the fuck are those rolls? For me, I haven't logged everyone above a 10
Where the
lately.
No, not for you. What the fuck are those rolls for Orgoth? Explain to the fathers.
So here's
I stole them.
Agreed.
so instead of just giving listen, instead of
that conversation could have gone.
do you know what this means? This means instead of just giving you a potion, I have to roll from the treasure table.
Oh my god.
Because you grabbed a bag of stuff.
Scoop's good at everything.
yeah.
See what he gets.
Let's see what happens. It is not going to be individual treasure. It is going to be a treasure hoard. Challenge level 5 to 10.
Val is impressed to shit. Like, oh my god.
Roll a D100 for me. And you did it in such
you want
secrecy
me to roll it, or
that
you're
there's-
rolling a D100?
You're rolling the D100.
Oh man.
Come on, all
Okay.
good, all good. Come on, keep the streak
I don't
going.
know what good is though. That's the crazy part. D100. Okay.
The mystery box.
I mean, you're knocking it out of the park, but
86, that's pretty fucking good.
Roll a D4 if you could.
Oh shit.
Okay. D4.
Now, of course, this is an apothecary, so if it's something ridiculous, I'll probably rethink. providing
Yeah,
it,
I
but,
trust you. That.
Let's see. Taking a look here. Just for the sake of, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous.
Find an elixir of life that will give anyone, like, you can't die anymore.
3 potions of haste.
Yeah.
Give me it. Give me it.
I'm looking. Just hold on.
It was
You're
3
good.
potions of haste. We have confirmation.
It's not so much about choosing which one is best from a bunch of stuff that might not work. It's choosing from a bunch of stuff that I think is just too much. But listen,
It's too OP to give you.
let's
I mean, to be honest, Scoop might just give it away to the first female he sees. To be honest.
I'll take it. We were going together somewhere. So it's like,
No, we're not
right,
together.
fine.
We're not together. You don't. You can't do that. Solo.
Well, it would be uncommon, but oh dear. Okay, roll me a d20.
Another
Just a-
D20.
Just a straight up d20. Yeah, I need to make a decision here.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I need these rolls in combat. Holy shit.
Yeah, where the fuck was this?
Okay. Well, that determines one thing. Dang, there's. I want to stop pogging in front of all of you as I'm going through this.
I just wanted a healing potion or two.
Listen, you just wanted a healing potion or two. I get it. You get a couple things. You get a potion of flying.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh, okay.
Potion of cloud giant strength.
Oh god. Oh, I know what that does.
That's going immediately to Zog.
Zug is pogging and he doesn't even know it.
And you are going to get a. I mean, you originally went in for the health potion, so that's going to be superior health potion.
Damn. A fucking good roll.
So, those 3 things, are what you've gained from that little 5-finger discount. So good on you. So the third thing that you want to do.
Oh wait, just to be clear, what giant was it? Cloud?
Cloud.
For the giant trick? Cloud,
Yep.
okay.
Oh.
And superior healing.
Superior healing.
Copy. Okay.
Superior, not supreme. So, not like it's whatever. Anyways, the third thing that you wanted to do was, if you can review that super quick with me.
Oh yeah, he wants to stop by the Thieves Guild and see if there's anything he can like borrow, like thief items essentially to maybe be stealthy or like get in and get out.
Okay.
Smoke bombs, grappling hooks, stuff like that. Anything they might have available, in whatever he gets from them, he tells them he's going to bring it back, and they will get half of whatever he finds.
All right.
'Cause
So it's
broke.
this is a little tricky. So this is your plan: is you approach the Ratcatcher Guild, the one that you and the rest of the party managed to raid, subvert, and convince to sort of get in, convince to get into a partnership with you. However, something at this moment in time is happening. You enter into the warehouse where there's a trap door that goes down pretty deep to the sewer and goes to where the guild is. However, as you're trekking, you realize that you realize that the traps that you're very familiar with at this time, they're literally not there anymore. You enter deeper towards where the offices are, and you're passing some of the rooms, and the rooms are empty. You see a couple people that are moving about, and they're carrying boxes of things, and one individual's carrying one of the shadowy Thieves Guild individuals, who's wearing an eye patch and has a black bandana over her head. She is carrying it somewhere into a sewer canal that is sort of off to the side. And you are noticed and approached by Sandora Lightfoot. And she walks up and says, "This is probably not the best time."
Why?
Well, the pressure in this part of the city is too hot right now. I had to deal with a mutiny recently. Those trollkin decided to backstab us, and the Crown's Guard was tipped off to our location, so we need to relocate. They're coming down hard on dissenters and criminals in this part of the city, even pulling some of them from their homes, and the House of Inquiry is having a feast. It's just too hot right now, and we need to find a new location to host our operations.
I mean, you got any ideas of where you're gonna go? I know you guys were looking to get into new work.
Yeah, we did ask for some advice on that, but that's.
Oh yeah, well, Winver kind of turned down my advice. I think you guys should get into sex work personally.
If whatever it is we decide to do, whatever it is we decide to do, it's gonna have to be in some other part of the city. There's no way that we can stick around the Winding Way. And at this point in time, there's no plan of rebuilding and rebranding, so we're gonna pull back into the Undercity sewers, and if we find a new location, we're gonna open up shop with some other form of some other form of money making, because obviously burgling in this part of the city is too dangerous.
I mean, you got is there like nothing like laying around that I could just pick up since your guys are moving?
Are you I apologize, Scoop. Listen, are you looking for something, darling?
I mean, yeah, I'm just looking for like general Thieves Guild equipment. I'm kind of bare out here in terms of stuff that I have.
Well, I'm gonna need to sell a lot of our contraband to stay afloat for the time being.
mean, if you're interested, what I get back, half the stuff I get, it kind of looks at her. Probably more like 75% of what I get. You can have it.
She blinks, and she says, "So, she sort of like leans forward a little bit, curious, with a keen smile upon her lips, and sort of because you have in the past sort of struck a flame with Sandora, she is kind of giving you a very particular look with a raised eyebrow and says, "So, where is Scoop going?"
I mean, you just said the block is hot. I can't really tell you everything, but bound to be some valuables.
What kind of valuables?
Don't really know. But if they're there, I'll find them.
Sugar Plum, you shouldn't keep that information away from me.
I'm not keeping it. You know, I'd tell you anything. I really don't know.
She's gonna basically roll a persuasion check. 8. I mean, you can.
She has advantage.
She has advantage.
Every woman has advantage for persuasion with Scoop.
All right. Well, not very
Yeah,
good.
she's just not very persuasive.
So okay. Well, loose lips sink ships, as they say. But it would be good to know what kind of goods they are. Listen, I got some extra thieves' tools sitting around here. If you want them, you can have them.
Man, I really got nothing. I'll take anything you got.
The rest of the stuff, unfortunately, darling, I have to sell. But if you're being true to your word, and hopefully I know you are, Scoop, I'm interested in seeing what sort of goods you lift and what 75% of that looks like.
If you wait long enough, I don't know. He says, don't worry, it's always worth the wait.
Oh, I bet if it's worth the wait, I could get 100% of it. Wink, wink.
That's if I don't have any debts to pay off. But if I don't, you got it.
No, that was an innuendo. And anyways, sounds good. Keep in touch. Let me know what you get your hands on. Another wink.
You got it.
So you do have thieves' tools. Unfortunately, as she had mentioned, there's not really anything else to provide or give because of the situation.
Yeah, all good. Understand.
And I believe that's going to wrap things up for you, Scoop, unless there's anything else.
Nope.
All right.
Let Scoop stay out.
Okay. Next on the list is going to be Val.
Val's gonna
Valvari.
try finding whatever fucking. There's two things. One is the bag of holding, so she's gonna try finding any kind of magic store that she can find. Knowing she's got like 2 grand's worth of gold, thanks to the Vanguard.
The conditions of that is you don't have 2 grand of gold, but you have it if you need to pick up a bag of holding if you find it.
Yeah, so you'll find a place that will have it, and then once I know the price, I can go forward and be like, "Hey, found a place that will sell it. I need this money."
All right. In which case, there's many different ways for you to approach a circumstance like this. You are somebody who is fairly well connected. There may be a certain way to leverage your network for that, or if there is a particular sort of knowledge check that you trust in more than others to help you find that information, or if you would like to consult anyone. So, a bunch of different methods. What do you imagine is Valvari's approach to locating a suitable location that may be carrying something like a bag of holding?
She tried to find a store that basically wasn't the most popular, in the sense of like, oh, it's very obvious that someone's been here buying a bag of holding for whatever reason, just because could like strike up for whatever reason. If they ever do get caught, they can follow trails and shit.
Sure.
Just trying to find a place in that middle ground of, okay, it's a rich enough shop that they would have items like this, but not too well known that, like, if she was spotted, you know.
Right. Such an item as a bag of holding is more on the common side. It may be for magic items. Magic items are still hard things to get a hold of in a market. So, in which case, if you are simply searching for such a thing, I would say to first do a history check.
Come on, don't roll like dog shit for once, please.
$11. That's not bad.
No, it's average.
It was sort of a 50-50 thing anyways. You know that the best opportunity for you to find something like that would be somewhere in the Gilder's Quarter, which is over here, sort of a little north of Chromatic Way. The Gilder's Quarter is a bunch of streets that are named after different kinds of crafts and different kinds of trades. And there isn't necessarily one specifically for magic items. However, you know that you keep your ear to the you've kept your ear to the ground in cities like this before, and there's always has to be a back room shop set up somewhere.
Yeah, that's kind of what she's looking for.
So I want you to do a let's see here. You'll want to do an investigation.
No plus to any of this. Oh. Please, of any roll of the night, please let this one be decent. Okay.
14's not bad. All right, excellent. So, you managed to take some time exploring the Gilder's Quarter, and you managed to find a shop that's pretty unseeming in its appearance, and the individual that appears to run it is somebody who is wearing a blue robe and has a friendly smile on their face. But it's obvious, you've seen places like this before where it's like, this isn't the whole building. There's a whole other part of this building that looks like it could be abandoned. And when you step into the shop and you look around, there's certainly a back room to this shop. So it really just comes down to convincing this individual that you're looking for something. Something that basically convincing them that you're not a snitch or a cop.
Yeah.
So
I just be like, I'm not a cop looking for this for a crime.
So basically, this individual, a woman with brunette hair about to the length of her shoulder, sort of all brought to the side. What's interesting is that you notice that she doesn't have eyebrows. She has tattoos where the eyebrows are.
Mm-hmm.
And there are small hints of previous, just very, very minor, but you've seen such a thing before, and that this individual has some irregularities around, some irregularities to the skin around her temple, next to one of her supposed tattooed eyebrows, which immediately indicates to you that this individual has done magic or experiments in fire and burned their eyebrows off.
Amazing.
So you approach them and they're like, "Hello, how can I help you?"
Hello, love. I'm looking for something a little bit special today.
Oh, special. Are you looking for anything in particular? Are you looking for potions, scrolls? I have plenty of those here.
I was hoping for an item. Not too rare, not too common. Help me contain a few things? Maybe hold a few things?
Just a few things.
Maybe more than a few.
Roll a persuasion check. Which you were actually good at.
Yeah, which I'm actually decent at. Fuck me running! I am rolling like dog shit today.
What does that mean?
If I like put a few gold on the table right now, can I roll with advantage?
Yes, you can.
There
Oh,
we
there you go.
Fucking hell!
She's at like.
We just needed the gold.
I'm sorry. It's not something that I would have in a shop such as that. And then you lay down a whole
I'll put down like 20 gold even if I have
20
to.
gold. And she goes wide-eyed and looks up to you and smiles and says, "Well, come with me." And she walks over to a particular bookshelf and goes to the side of the bookshelf and manages to take a wand out of her person and then tap the bookshelf very lightly, and the bookshelf manages to not simply move like it is like it's on a ball bearing like you see in so many movies, but it literally like polymorphs into a door.
Oh shit, cool.
And she sort of gives a solid knock, like a very specific rhythm of a knock on the door. And as she is as she does this, oh, God damn it. See, here's the problem. My accent abilities are still in development, but just imagine this person suddenly goes from a, sort of a well-composed accent to speaking completely Cockney.
Brilliant. Love it. Oh, I love.
And she is like, "Hey, open up in there." I'm bad at it. But she, the door unlocks and you see, basically a big orc with a blindfold on, sort of pop open the door and then waves both of you in, and then manages to turn around, and there's a long hallway. And it's interesting because while this orc has a blindfold, they seem to be navigating perfectly fine. This is a big, burly orc male with a blindfold, and they're wearing a brown tunic and have are basically wearing sort of like torn shorts, and he's got a lot of like grit all over his arms, and it's like night and day. As soon as you leave the shop and enter into this hallway, it's more dungeon-esque, and it's not been well taken care of, and there's some trash on the floor. And you enter into a back room where there is a single lantern that is flickering ominously, and there are a couple of basically metal cages. Not a couple, but there's a handful of metal cages that have particular items in them. And she looks over to you and says, "All right, what you looking for a bag of holding?"
That'd be correct. You got one?
Are you looking for something that's your standard bag of holding? You're looking for something bigger.
Something that isn't easily... Something more sturdy in the sense of it can just be on my hip.
That's your standard bag of holding.
Standard bag of holding. Maybe something a bit sturdier.
Well, if that's it, then that's gonna be a few thousand.
Maybe get you about 1,500.
It's So what exactly do you have to offer aside from 1,500?
The max I could probably reach is like 1,900. And that's pushing it. I have to talk to my employer.
Your employer? Who's your employer?
Oh, loose lips sink ships, love.
Roll a persuasion check. As they're also going to do a insight check.
23. Now I'm rolling, okay?
Right. So what that basically means is that your persuasion and their effective insight check is basically going to you're gonna see that their demeanor completely changes, and they get this sense of like, oh, this person is actually well connected, and I shouldn't screw with them. And you get definitely the sense that this whole like backroom shop thing is not like connected to any particular nefarious organization or anything. They're sort of, they're free agents trying to make some extra money off of some smuggled goods. So with your persuasion, and them sort of like looking you up and down, noticing the particular firearm that you're carrying, and sort of realizing like, there's not a lot of people that carry firearms like those. You can't necessarily read their mind. It could even be that they somehow recognize something that indicates that you belong to a particular organization. Maybe not.
Be a good offer, and we'll make it worth your while. Promise.
How's 2,000?
9:15. You got a deal.
Deal. She extends her hand.
I shake it.
All right. And the orc goes over to the back corner, opens up one of the cages, and then reaches into a box inside of the cage and pulls out a bag of holding. And to demonstrate that it is indeed a bag of holding, he takes basically his entire arm and sticks it inside, and it's gone. And he pulls the arm out.
Brilliant. All right.
And then tosses it over to you. Say, how'd you get that firearm?
Ah, family business. You know how it is.
And then when you say that, her face sort of droops. Like, not droops, but it goes a little pale. It goes cold. Like, oh. And she nods and says, oh, well, thanks again, love. Let me see you to the door. And she navigates.
Then we'll be in touch
towards
with the money tonight, promise. She leaves 50 gold on the table.
All right. And so the deal is struck. In which case, I imagine that you will probably utilize the opportunity to go and let Constance know. We can speed through that process.
Send the money into this place.
Yep. Long story short, you get a bag of holding.
Brilliant.
And
Second
then,
part I want to do then is use my sending stone that I now have.
Yes. I should pause at this moment. I just want to check with everybody because, you know me, these things. I like doing the details and the role playing, and so the things always take longer. This list was never going to take 40 minutes. Everybody's a-okay with going for just a little bit longer, just to get to this and then the next one, and then we're good. Okay, cool.
I'm good. I'm good.
Sweet. Just want to check. Awesome. So let's go for gold. In which case, Val, you are going to. Is it you're going to reach out to somebody?
Yes. So before I get back, I'm going to just wander into just kind of disappear into an alley along the way. Just not even looking around, make you kind of obvious but not suspicious. No, this is clearly just disappeared. Walk down an alley, gone. And just kind of leans on the wall, pulls out the sending stone. And I know it's that 25 words, like the sending spell. So she says into it, arrived in SEGLESIA, made contact with Vanguard. Been given a target, but don't trust the Vanguard's intentions. Thoughts? Let Uncle V know. Give Ma my love. And end it there.
Oh, are you looking to receive an answer, or are you just relaying it?
It can be an answer now, or whenever they hear it.
If I remember correctly, a sending stone, is it just you cast sending once, or is it literally a walkie-talkie? You could use it to cast a sending spell target at the bearer if it's paired. Can be used once, and after the stone, it's regained at dawn. Yeah,
it can't be while walkie-talkie. You send it once, and that's it.
Gotcha.
Until it recharges the next day.
Gotcha. And I believe sending is 25 words, something like that.
Yeah. So I just in case you forget I've missed parts, but I sent it over Discord as well, just so you have it.
All right. On Discord, arrived in SEGLESIA, make contact with Vanguard, been given a target, but don't trust Vanguard's intentions. Thoughts? Let Uncle V know. Give Ma my love. The response is going to be in the form of, and actually spoken to, hey, kiddo. Good to hear. Vanguard. Bunch of idealistics. Confused cats. Don't know what they want. Remember, power is everything. There's always a reason. Find out what it is.
Brilliant.
Trust nobody. And that is going to be at least the immediate response.
Yeah, and then she pockets the sending stone and heads back to where she's meeting with the rest of the group.
It's a shame because I misread sending stone and I had a whole not a whole speech plan, but it was a bunch of notes. I was like, ooh. But actually, I think I'm able to get that in.
You did. That was really, really cool. If we can find a walkie-talkie item, then we'll figure it out.
Forget about it. All right, and so is that gonna be your turn?
Yep, I think that sums everything up.
All right. Last but not least is going to be Winveer. Now, Winveer, let me know what your business is. I believe one of those things was going to the Firebulg and engaging in a bit of commerce, having them forge you a something.
Go to her and be like, yes, it's good to see you again.
You're going to via Mia Jello Vothemo, the firebolt.
Mia, so nice to see you again.
Oh, hi, Winveer.
Oh?
What can I do for you today?
Well, I have a couple things that need to be done quickly. First, as I pull out my bag, crystals here. Group found them. They love them. Just need you to make electrum bands and make them to rings. Well enough.
Oh, well, I can do that. I can do that fairly quickly. Was there anything else you needed to do?
One more thing. As I basically hold out my Bolton-style rapier, I just need you to give this a quick rework. Give it a little bit of a punch, if you will.
I know just the thing. And as we've discussed just before the stream, your intention to make your rapier into a +1 rapier.
Correct.
And I managed to roll the duration, and it was only a day, so that is gonna take place, and you're gonna be able to pick that up before you go start on the journey. And so Mia Jello nods, waves, and says, "I can get all of this done by the end of today, and thanks again, Winveer, for all of the help you and your friends provided for me in the shop. It would have been terrible if I lost my dad's shop."
It's your father's. I thought you were a real go-getter and get it yourself, but...
retcon, because I'm an idiot. Yes, that was the story.
And truth be told, even he wouldn't care all that much.
My dad's
but
life savings, yeah, basically.
But it's more of just like, well, it doesn't matter. It comes from yourself. It comes from your father.
I'm thinking about.
You've been doing
completely
wonderful
different.
for the shop.
She waves you goodbye and gets right to work.
Hey, now it's the big time.
However, I do need to let you know that you did not warn her about the about the crystal. No, retcon! You didn't warn her about the crystals, so there may be some wild magic in store for her. No, I'll let you retcon.
And before I leave, I go, oh, but do be careful with the crystals. They tend to have a little bit more of unstable magics with them.
Looks down at the crystals, looks at you, and says, "Okay, I'll try to be careful."
Thank you.
I'm still
A good
gonna roll
one.
possible complication because it's still working with wild magic crystals. Anyways, but what was the next thing you were gonna do?
I had to go. Work with the big boss himself.
All right. So, luckily for you, I sort of planned this as a potential scene. There's a reason for that. There's a big reason for that. So, everybody strap in as I move over to this new scene. As you head to the Great Lion's Ascent, which is the ward at the center of the city. Yes, the ward at the center of the city, which is basically the royal district. And you head to the House of Inquiry, where Severo Tabalta's office is located. And Severo is not in his office. Severo is in the main hall of the House of Inquiry, which you get to see for the first time what the main hall of the House of Inquiry looks like. And I must change the background music. Hopefully this suits it. Let me check. Yeah, let's go with that. A lot of this music I'm not super clear on what it is until I find out.
Can choose, sit and lose all your different crews, chicks and dudes who you think is really kicking tunes.
Yeah, it could be that even. Also, love that song. But anyways, I digress. Let's activate this scene. you enter into the House of Inquiry. Now, there's a lot of NPCs here, but I don't expect you to interact with really many of them. This is simply what the main hall of the House of Inquiry typically looks like. You see regimented Crown's Guard soldiers at different points located here in the House of Inquiry. There's usually a couple of them, but of course, since the Civil War began, even though the Great Lines Ascent is a secure location for the Crown's Guard for the most part, there are at least double the amount of Crown's Guard legionnaires. You see a bunch of individuals who are here for either for government business or are part of the aristocracy within lesser noble houses that are performing some sort of business. Some of these are employees. Some of these individuals are part of the. Some of these individuals are a little bit more nefarious. When I would say more nefarious, more adventurer-like. You get all sorts of people here in the House of Inquiry, and you're used to seeing them. It's not usually all that common that you see Severo Tabalta out amongst the main floor of the main hall. So he is located up here.
Doesn't let me move. No, it doesn't let me move. The
It-
wall is in the way. The walls.
The wall is in the way. The hell is there a wall in the way?
Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Got it.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, there is a wall
Got
in the
it.
way. Okay.
Right. But I'm just gonna move down and get to Mr.
So post haste, you're heading directly to Severo. Severo is looking at this legionnaire. This legionnaire has actually some golden trim along part of his wear, and this is an individual who is a higher officer in the general army of the Crown's Guard in particular. And Severo is like, "Listen to me, you dolt! If I want to have this regiment far to the end of Magister's Way in preparation for an ambush, I do not expect to get talkback from you. Do as I order. I am the Master of Secrets, and I know our troop movements. Do not lecture me again." And of course, that individual is going to nod, defeated, and begin walking away. And Severo looks over to you and Veer says, if it isn't Pendragon. I don't suspect that you've come here to provide me some lectures like some of these pompous individuals in the higher echelon of the Crown's Guard are intending to give me, as Victoris is well too busy to be commanding people in his own regiments. I am being served as a stand-in, and I do not prefer that line of work.
So I wasn't planning to give you a lecture.
Well, good. So, be quick.
Actually, it's something I'd rather discuss in private. Mine, my lord.
You have... privacy. Well, I'm a busy man. And privacy is one of those things that can be afforded in the right location. We can step off to the side if it makes you feel better, but at this point, none of the individuals that hold on, I gotta retcon that because that's just a dumb way of going about things. He's just gonna be like, all right, this way.
Thank you, lord. We're heading to his office. Yay!
You're gonna head actually right up here, and he's gonna wave to these Crown's Guard legionnaires to be dismissed, and they are going to move out of the way. And this one is also going to move out of the way as well. And he's going to look over down to these individuals. You recognize the garb on these individuals, that they are enforcers for the House of Inquiry. And he's going to gesture them away. And they are going to start walking in that direction. And with enough of a berth, he is going to look over to you and say, "So, what is exactly that you have to share with me?"
Was going to actually say, Lord, that it... Sorry, it's a little irony, a little tongue twisted, but cut down
Yes,
to
go
the
on.
chase. Sorry, my lord. I was hoping to be able to do an excursion over the arcane tower.
Say that again.
Yes. Well, truthfully, at this point, is that dealing with some of the anomalies that have happened within the city, I feel as which the tower is actually the beacon when it comes to the anomalies. I was hoping to be able to do is, on your behalf, at least be able to investigate when it comes to the anomalies and hopefully be able to stop them.
He blinks at you and says, "Pendragon, this is a very interesting line of inquiry."
You know, my lord, I do not wish to lie to you. I've been finding information that comes with it that are connected to the anomalies. Feels that it's the connection there. I truly want what is best for the city.
He gives sort of a wide grin at your reference of best for the city. And he says, "Best for the city, you say? So, you have come to me asking what exactly?"
Mission, lord. To land to there and not be harassed by the Crown's Guard. I have associates that are going to be with me as well to help with the investigation. I've worked with them many a time, and they're a eclectic bunch, but they're very proficient in what they do.
Associates. Winveer, if you are asking me if you are asking me if you have permission to approach the barrier of the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters, what gave you that curiosity? And how exactly do you feel anything happening out in the city has anything to do with anything happening inside of that barrier?
Well, my lord, curiosity that comes with anomalies associated with it is that beforehand it was not actually kept through when it comes to these anomalies, and even still dealing with a couple of them myself, as they came from the sewers. As he pulls out like a sheet from like the notes from one of the like the scientists that were running about inside the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
I hand him over to him. These do give me question that comes with it, and beforehand we had no such anomaly to happen before the eruption of the tower. And still, well, through my own research, the help would be able to do is to go in and be able to stop this anomaly. To be very helpful for us as well as the city.
As you say that, you see Severo is giving you a narrow peer with his eyes, looking to what you have just presented to him and back to you. And I'm going to need you to roll a persuasion check on what you have just presented him.
Alright, please don't fuck with me now. Shit.
And of course, they are going to roll something else.
Oh, fuck. I'm so screwed.
Well, so
Inspiration!
Oh god, come on, come on.
You got the
Inspiration!
Inspire yourself, come on.
Do you have an
No,
inspiration?
inspiration.
You have an inspiration, that's right. If you want to
Inspiration can either have me reroll or have him reroll.
So you want him
I'm
to
having-
reroll.
Oh.
All right.
want him-
Hey. All right.
Make him
I'ma
reroll.
let
That was a
I
fucking nat
gave you
20.
I gave you it. I'll let you re-roll it, but listen.
Why
But-
didn't you make him re-roll? He re-rolled a nat 20.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. He was making
Oh, thank Christ.
Yes, exactly.
I thought, sorry, I couldn't read it from here. I was like, wait, I thought you'd
Yes.
Listen,
fuck.
however, that 17 and that 16 is not what you think it is.
Shit.
I just want to let you know. Shit, exactly. So listen.
Still succeeded. That's all that matters.
I gotta come clean as a DM. I gotta come clean. I've been looking forward to this particular moment for a number of sessions. Whether it was with the entire party, or whether it was with one individual, because I get to do something that I've been wanting to do since the very beginning of the campaign.
I'm so scared right now.
Once upon a time, before this campaign, I ran a different campaign called Shadows over SEGLESIA. And when I ran that campaign, a number of different things happened. The party at the time engaged in all sorts of both destructive and engaged in destruction and espionage. There are certain individuals from that campaign. I cannot say that anybody in chat or any of my players remember any of those individuals. However, now is the time for me to present to you, Winvier, as you are rolling that, and Severo is looking between the note and yourself. He is saying, well presented argument, Pendragon. But nowadays, it is not simply me you must convince. As he says that, the door to the north of you opens with a resounding echo.
I'm so scared right now.
And as soon as you see the silhouettes of individuals standing in the path of the light that is coming out of that doorway, Winvier,
History?
I want you to roll a history check, but also a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I'm so screwed. All right, let's see. What history first?
History first.
13.
Not bad.
Saving throw. I've been rolling shit. Yeah, composure.
Oh, thank Christ.
Composure. However, you will still feel the chill. Let me remind you of very recently, there was a very particular scene, a certain recap of events as I activated in front of all of you, where a certain meeting with a certain Vanguard operative went awry. And I had certain shadowy individuals approaching from different directions. It immediately occurs to you from the illusion that was presented to you by Constance Denil, you know, as it dawns upon you, you know exactly who those individuals are.
Oh.
Standing
Shit.
in the doorway.
Vampires.
of the halls of inquiry, or that is to say, of standing in the doorway of the grand judiciary chamber of the halls of inquiry, you see the silhouette of 4, not 3, but 4 individuals of varying stature. And from the doorway, you hear a voice. And that voice says down the echoey corridor, "If it isn't Pendragon, I have some questions for you." And the first individual that you see stepping out is not the individual who spoke. As a matter of fact, the first 3 individuals that step out are not the individual who spoke. They are individuals who are, well, they have the title of Enforcer. First,
No.
the individual that you know as Enforcer Venari. And by the way, this is a showcase of a bunch of art that I've commissioned from Madraw.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
shit, not them.
Enforcer Venari, who you know is particularly stealthy and particularly cruel to her victims when she is performing her work.
Oh, good lord.
An individual who you deem to be nearly, while well composed, to be nearly soulless in their execution. The second
So
individual
well composed.
that you see is a Duragar. A Duragar that you know by the name of Enforcer Blackfoot. An individual that you clearly recognize from the illusion that Constance provided, that this was the individual that fired the crossbow, that killed the contact, and is somebody who is very proficient in the art of tracking, very proficient in the art of assassinations. The third individual, a towering individual, a Goliath, you know by the name of Enforcer Sigorn. An individual who is, amongst these 3, someone who is most at home in the realm of brutality, savagery, and carnage with his bare fists. However, these 3 individuals are simply preceding the 4th. The 4th is the one that you are most chilled by, because the 4th individual, a individual leading them, leading with a limp, propping themselves with a cane, wearing a luxurious, but grim-looking robe of green embellishment of the House of Inquiry. An individual who wears a mask, and behind the mask, where you see the eyes, there seems to be the presence of rot. As you know this individual, the same individual that spoke with you with a very particular lisp, is none other than Inquisitor Malum. However, as you may be aware, over the past number of months, he has been promoted to Superior Malum. and you know him as being the most depraved and most effective of all of the inquisitors in the House of Inquiry. He is synonymous with torture. He is synonymous with detecting lies from his victims. And this is where we will have to end tonight's session.
Fuck!
You're fucked. You
I am
are
so
You're fucked.
fucked.
royally fucked.
Oh. That's why I have expertise in deception. We're not gonna help, but
You can
it
see
might.
you can see Max Fish in chat pogging right now because
I know.
Max Fish was around for a chunk of Tales of Seglesia and he knows what's up. Sorry, Shadows of Seglesia, he knows what's up. Anyways, I want to thank all of y'all for playing in tonight's session and thank you for your patience as we went a little bit over time. But
You are fucked. It was
we
nice
have-
knowing you. I hope you weren't too attached to
Yeah.
that character.
we have
I'll-
some
I'll make
things
a
to
new one.
decompress, things to discuss before the next session. However, we're going to wrap it up. Everybody out there watching tonight's stream, I sincerely thank you for tuning in and enjoying the adventure and preparation for that party is engaging in before they enter into the breach of the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters. The individuals that you have seen today playing this game of Dungeons and Dragons are none other than Phoenix V playing as Orgoth,
Sacrifice!
Magpie 18 playing as Valvari,
Thank you for having me.
Black Man Inc. playing as Scoop,
Yoink.
Yoink, and the once and possibly screwed Dr. Squiggums playing as Winveer.
You should send me inspirations. I need them.
And so, this is where we're going to have to end tonight, and we are going to have to pick it up next session with a skill challenge. And a conversation, and a bunch of other things. And then you will see our party enter within the bounds of the Arcanist Inquisition and find out what is beyond the magical barrier. I'm going to turn off the stream. I sincerely, once again, thank everybody for participating, watching, playing. It has been a pleasure and a privilege. And I, Chaotic and Writer, will see y'all in the next episode. Before I actually chat with my individual players, I'm going to go to full screen, and we're going to engage in a raid. So, stand by, everybody. I will talk with you in a moment. For now, say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
See ya is what they say. But will they ever see the light again? We will find out in the next episode of Tales of Seglesia. I have some people to brief. I have some things to share. But you and I are about to engage in a final adventure for this evening, and that is a raid. A raid with weapons, with planned, with prepared spells, and with wits. As we are going to delve deep into the world of Twitch Dungeons and Dragons. Before long, you are going to engage in the Great Crusade. A crusade stooped in an adventure, stooped in providing your support to a fellow Twitch streamer within the Dungeons and Dragons space. Now, of course, Critical Role is going on right now. I understand if you would rather watch, I would understand if there's anything else you would want to do. However, for the sake of this stream and for sake of a target stream here, let us go and perform a raid upon an individual, hopefully somebody that is doing world building, because that is my jam. And so, creating a character builder somebody is Dungeon Master Symposium with 3 viewers. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to say hello, hello. And once we begin the stream, my friends, it will be go time. So, are you ready? Please gather your weapons. Because our good friend, new friend, Dragon Master Symposium will need our support. I want you to jump into this stream, and I want you to provide your support. Chat with this individual, drown them with follows, maybe provide them I would say provide them a sub or two, but this individual looks like they just got to 54, and they may be upping their game to the affiliate tier. So, are you ready? It is time. The time for battle is now. The countdown is upon us. Join me as we provide support to those who need it. Join me on a raid in 5. My hands need work. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next week.